Good evening, everybody. I talk too loud.
Wait.
So we're in the shop, and we've got a lot of great information to talk a little bit about Daytona. And I don't know if Mexi Philly's going to come on. I told him, invited him to stop on by if he was in the area. He'd probably be closing up. I don't know how late he stays open, but he could stop in and say hi. He was on earlier live and tell us a little bit about Daytona. I think Daytona this year is going to be more of a Friday and a Saturday event. Almost everybody that I'm seeing that's contacting us pretty much said they're going out there today. They were showing up today, staying like Friday night, Saturday night, and heading home on Sunday. I know Emory HVAC, they got down there on, I think Thursday, they showed up down there. They got down there on Thursday. I haven't heard too much from them. But I mean, seeing some of the pictures and stuff like that, it doesn't seem like it's very crowded. I've already seen some shots down on Main Street and stuff, and not a whole lot of bikes going up and down and things like that. You know, don't believe all the videos you see coming out. There's some videos that I've already seen too. Some people are doing some shorts. They're actually from Daytona Bike Week. You can kind of tell that just by the way things are set up. I mean, it is great. It was a great weekend. I can already see that. The weather was perfect. So I think it was probably a great event. I mean, just for us for 3 days, I've already seen some of the people that are putting videos out aren't really getting a lot of views. Can't compare Adam because, Adam's got his vendor side and he's also doing his rally side too. So he's got kind of a different view. But I mean, looking at people that are doing, there's one guy out there that has, I don't know, like 300,000 subscribers, and he kind of walked through some of the stuff he did. He came out this morning and didn't have a whole lot of views. And I thought for a guy with 300,000 subscribers, he should have, a lot. But I mean, he had like 1,400 after, I think, a couple hours of his video being up, which I don't know. So, but it is what it is. So we got a bunch of things we're going to talk about tonight, and we just want to let you all guys know what some of the things are. One of the things I want to make a quick announcement, and just in case somebody comes on, we had a couple of gentlemen, I don't know who it was. So I can't go back and look, I forget. But I want to announce that they just announced Bikes, Blues, and BBQ. They gave the dates for 2024, and we want to give those to you guys right now. Tentatively, we are probably going to be down there. I don't know what we're going to do before, but tentatively, we're still planning on going down there. I know we haven't set up our whole schedule for 2024, but the dates right now are the 24th through the 27th. Now, we're going to get down there the week early, so we're going to be getting down there on the weekend before, if all goes well. If we don't do, like I say, right before that is Lake of the Ozarks has got their rally going on. Ocean City's got theirs going on. I'd like to, I don't know. There's just too much stuff that's back to back, and it makes it tough to get to all that stuff. So we haven't really decided everything yet. So just want to kind of let you know about that. But I mean, we got some really great stuff to let everybody know about tonight. So kind of hang around a little bit. Well, I won't drag it out too long tonight to let you know what are all of our announcements we're going to give you out tonight of what's going on. First one we're going to do is, a lot of people always want to know, what do you guys really do? And you kind of get a little bit about what kind of problems we have, things that we run into, things like that. And I don't really like to get too much involved with it on our regular YouTube channel. So what we've done now is I kind of took this from the Professional Monkey. He kind of started this the other day, and I'm thinking, maybe we should try this. And what I did is down here, if you're on YouTube, you can look down here and there's a join button. And if you're one of our people that are already bought a sticker, you can actually see now that I've actually got, depending on how long you've had it, you get a different sticker now. So we can kind of look at you and tell you, like, once you get to be 2 years, I think 48 months, 3 years, I guess that is, you get a Harley emblem. And I actually talked to corporate, and right now they're saying, don't worry about it. So we ain't worrying about it. So you'll get a Harley emblem if you make it all the way to that ultimate time. I don't know if anybody's at that. I didn't look. So I kind of made that out. I figured that out. But what we're doing is we're going to start doing 2 private lives a month. And right now we got the price down there. You can sign up at $7.99. And we'll be starting that here this month already in October here. We'll try to get one of them on already before the end of the month. And what we'll do is we'll come on, we'll let you know when that's going to be. And you have to be in this to get it. And what we're going to do is just talk about a lot of different things, but we're going to tell you some of the things that we've run across doing what we do. Some of the problems, some of the dealerships that have given us troubles, also with, a lot of them, you know who the great people are. But I mean, we've had some vendors that have given us a hard time. And so we want to kind of give that information out, but I just don't want to make it totally public. But if you want to spend money and give you that, and then also there's questions you can ask a little bit more personal that we get more involved with on that format. So it's something new that we want to do. We might go more with that. And I'm still keeping our Patreon page, that's more of our exposés type videos that we'll have some of that coming up real soon. We're going to be talking about that here before the end of October here. We got some exciting stuff coming up for you guys. So we'll see how that all turns out. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So that's one new thing that we're going to have, and it's going to start here in probably next week. We'll probably do our first live, and it'll be one that you don't, if you're not around, you can come back on and you can watch it again, but you have to be in the club. If you clicked on the Professional Monkey, you'll see how his are. Right now, we only have the one price range. We haven't got anything higher than that yet. I don't really have time to do extra videos yet, so I'm not looking to do that yet. But maybe right now we'll do a couple of lives like that. And, also sometimes we have comments that I delete that you guys don't really get to see, that people say stupid things. And those are the kind of things we think. I've got a couple of emails. We talked about one before. If you've been around our channel for a long time, I actually had a girl, probably about the first year we were in, first or second year. I almost quit because of what she wrote. And it was somebody, actually, she started out one of our first subscribers we ever got. And she was very helpful and all this stuff. And we're going to get all involved in that in one of our online saying here. And you can actually see, and I might even give her name out. I don't care. And it's been long enough now. And if you want to write her, I don't care. And I'll even tell you where you can find her at. But I mean, it was just, I don't know. It was, and we've had that happen a couple of times where people, Topless Tuesday was the same thing. And there's one I would really like to do a video on, but I really didn't want to put it out here on YouTube about Topless Tuesday, what's going on there, what the good, the bad, and the really ugly that's going on there. So those are some of the things we'll talk about. We might talk a little bit more about some more of our personal life. We want to know a little bit more about us, what we do. So it'll be kind of a fair game thing. There might be some things we won't talk about, but I mean, overall, we're pretty much open to whatever we'll kind of talk on this format. So if you're interested, go down there and sign up. And we'll talk about it on the next few videos. And then hopefully next week sometime we'll get time to sit down and because we've got a lot of time, which we're going to talk about here soon. This is our off-season time. We've got some cool events coming up here soon that we're going to talk about real quick and tell you that we're doing this month and next month and the next month. So there's some chances that we're going to be traveling, that you have an opportunity to meet up with us if you're in any of these areas that we're going to be traveling to. Personal vacation time, I guess is what it is. I don't want to say personal issues. I guess she's an issue.
Your daughter?
Yeah, she's an issue, isn't she? They're all issues. Got to deal with them. Part of life.
Mike said the underside of Topless Tuesday, bet it's sweaty.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just kind of exciting. So we just wanted to do this Friday night. The Professional Monkey's out of town still. He hadn't come back in town. So we thought, hey, let's do a Friday night. I'd like to do Friday nights, and I probably should have did it before he got jumped into doing Friday nights. But I never got around to it. We kind of like Sundays, and it kind of worked out good, but it ends up with football season here. We don't get the views that we should get. So we kind of decided, lately we haven't been really putting a lot of videos out. We did do one this week because we had our guest stars all came on. A lot of people really liked that. And actually, we didn't think about it. Somebody gave it to us as an idea. We should have did it as like a news program. That we could have said, hey, we're switching to Daytona. Hey, Shelly, what's going on down there in Daytona? And we could have flipped her on. That'd have been pretty neat. I didn't think about that. And one of our subscribers actually wrote that and said, you guys were almost, I think it was XN Biker, and said that it was kind of like remote reporters you guys had down there. And it was kind of neat.
Mike does that for us.
Yeah. So it's kind of neat that turned out like that. And we had one day. It wasn't even 24 hours that we put all that together. So, because what ended up happening is the gentleman that was our first person, Andrew there, not Andrew, but it was Brian, what they are is they're the people that put on Biketoberfest. Biketoberfest and Bike Week are totally different events put on by two totally different organizations, which I had no idea. So this guy was sitting, I don't know, we were talking to some subscribers there in Daytona this year at Bike Week. And we were sitting over there by Adam Amzo, but we were underneath the pavilion there at a picnic table talking to some subscribers and chatting with them and stuff. And this guy was sitting over there and kept looking at us and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is that guy looking at? I'm like, he could come over. And so he didn't. And we probably sat there and talked to those people for, 30 minutes or more. It could have been an hour. I don't know. It was a long time. And so after we got done, he jumps up and he goes, hey, Bob and Tam. And I'm like, hey, glad to meet you. He says, I'm Brian. And I said, I'm with Biketoberfest. And I'm like, okay, what? You're not with Bike Week? And so then he kind of explained it all. And he said, we'd like to work with you guys. And because you guys have a great channel and all this kind of stuff. And they're not sponsoring us or anything. We didn't ask for anything yet. So, but we'll see what happens. And so he started talking to us and said that, when we come, if we could come back for Biketoberfest, he would really like to get with us. And so it didn't happen. So I guess it was Tuesday.
When did we do the live?
Wednesday.
Yesterday?
So Wednesday, because it started on Thursday. So we did it the day before it started. So Tuesday, he sends her a message
text
and said, hey, can you guys, if I send you some stuff, can you guys post it and talk about it a little bit? And so she asked me, and I said, why don't you call the guy up and say, maybe we could do a live tomorrow night real quick. I said, we could throw that together. We haven't done a live in a while. And so she called him and he said, oh, let me check to my director and see what he says if we could do it. And I said, at the same time, I said, call a few people, call Shelly Rossmeyer and see if we can get Teddy or her, Shelly on, because Shelly's always so busy. We never can get her on that day, but it was shocking we did. And then I said, call John at JMP Cycles because he's a great guy. And he's one of our subscribers too. And he got on there. And then we got Adam Amsoil. We got a hold of him. And his didn't turn out so good because he had to, it just was didn't work out right. And so, but anyway, he was on. He gave us a good review. And who else we had? We had one other person. Willie from Chopper, the Chopper Show. Oh, that was probably Thursday. I'm so sorry that I missed that. Also, my other favorite thing is happening Saturdays, the Sons of Speeds. We should have tried to get a hold of Billy Laney and had him talk.
He might have came on.
He might have came on for 15 minutes. That'd been kind of neat. Didn't think about calling him. But I mean, that was just kind of neat that we got all those people in less than 24 hours. And they all kind of said the same thing. Shelly said, I don't know. I'm really busy. Teddy is in between getting here. I don't know when he's going to show up. And we're like, okay. And she talked to Willie and Willie's like, I don't know. I'm in and out. If I'm here, I'll do it. If not, I don't know. She talked to John and John's like, I have no idea how to do it. You'll have to coach me through it. And then, and Adam said, hey, if I don't have any work I'm doing, I'm happy to do it. So we just had a lot of iffies. And then the guy, Brian, said he didn't know he would call us back. Well, then he called back and said that his boss, Andrew, would come on and talk to us for 5 to 10 minutes. And so he did really good. And it was very good. Most people pretty much talked on their own. We didn't have to ask a whole lot of questions. And then Shelly came on. I was really shocked. She came on right away. And I was like, oh, crap, there's Shelly. She did come on. And we appreciate her. And we appreciate everybody that came on. And did a great job. John went around at JMP Cycles. He's the GM. Shelly now, Rossmeyer, Rossmeyers do not own it anymore. It's owned by Teddy Morris. They had the 3-wheel rally that was going on. I talked to Mexi Philly a little bit today on the live, and he said it wasn't as good as his first year though. And because I said if that would build up, it would almost be worth going down there for a week. But to go down there for a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday, it isn't worth our time. And that's what everybody said. Well, can't you guys fly in? It's $500 a ticket for us to fly in, plus a place to stay. And it's like
in a ride.
And I'm not even making $500 this month. And on the last, when we did Bikes, Blues and BBQ and did Ocean City, we didn't even make $700 on that. So there's not a lot. People always think, oh man, you guys are making so much money on YouTube. There's not a lot of money. If you're getting the views, you're getting videos out there that are making, 30, 40, 50,000 views. And you've got, hundreds of thousands of subscribers and they're watching your videos. You got to watch them all the way to the end. And if you don't watch them all the way to the end, you don't make any money. Like this one, I forgot, again, I'm bad about this, that I set this up yesterday and I forgot to hit the commercial at the beginning. So right now I've made no money on this video or this live. And that's just part of what we do. Sometimes you make money, sometimes you don't. Some videos we make pennies on. Some videos, I probably the most video I've ever made is probably around $1,000. It took 3 years to get to that. So, and then some videos make $3. And so there's not a lot of money in YouTube. And that's why a lot of people, if you watch Professional Monkey, he pushes his shirts and he pushes his cups and now he's got this stuff down and he's got some good views and he's got a good viewership to where a lot of his videos, not so much lately, but for a while there, he was getting 30, 40,000 on every view. So he's making a fairly good chunk of change. But it also says just because you look at somebody's video and it says it's had 5,000 views, if they only watched it for 5 seconds and clicked out, I might have had 500 people watch my video and I made more money because they watched all the way to the end. So that's what really makes a difference when you're looking at videos. You can't just say because somebody, and so what you do is we look at it And the average person watches, the average of a video is about 5 to 8 minutes, which most people watch our videos, for instance. And but that takes up for the people that watch, like some of your subscribers will watch all the way to the end. They want to see everything. Well, then there's those other people that watch 10 or 15 seconds. They're like, oh, they're not saying nothing. I'm clicking out of there. So good and bad. So we'll talk about some of the exciting things going on. So the next big thing that we're getting ready to do, and this is something brand new, and I've always thought about going to this because we lived in California for 17 years, and it's a big event that's really close. It's in Las Vegas, and I've thought about it for years because I'm actually have an automotive background. Some of you have figured that out. I was an auto mechanic for, I don't know, what, 25 to 30 years, for a long freaking time. Okay. And until I came to California, and then I ended up going to work for a utility company, and I was in appliance. I worked for the gas company, service technician. And so always been mechanically inclined. So what we're going to is on October 31st, actually we're getting there on Monday to Friday, we're going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to the SEMA show. What?
So dates will be there.
Yeah. 30th through the 4th is when we're actually going to be in Vegas. We're getting there on the Monday and we're staying until Friday. The SEMA show starts on Halloween, which also is going to be great. That's one of the things we're going to tell you about. I'll jump right into that since I already said Halloween. We're going to be doing some lives down on the strip down there live, because you know there's going to be some crazy costumes down there. And if it gets really crazy, we'll have some Patreon videos. So we'll see how it all goes, and we'll see how long we'll stay out, and we'll do the live won't be real long because the phone is only going to last so long walking up and down the strip. So we'll see how that all turns out. We did New Year's Eve 2 years ago, I guess we did New Year's Eve.
Oh, last year.
Was it last year? We did that out there. And some of you came on and watched that and seen what they did out in Las Vegas and stuff like that. Because it's a lot later because it's on West Coast. It's on Pacific time. So when it's midnight there, it's 3 o'clock in the morning out. And I mean, you can come back the next morning and watch it when you get up or sometime that day, whatever. But something we thought we were going to do while we're out there, hey, let's go out and have some fun on the strip for Halloween. We've never been out in Las Vegas for Halloween. So we thought, let's go out on there. We'll walk around, have some fun and see how it is. But there's a whole lot of neat stuff. And you might say, why are you going to the SEMA? So what SEMA actually stands for, because I had to write it down because it's the Speed Equipment Manufacturing Association. So we've gotten press passes to where we'll be able to film. I'll find out when we get there what all we get to film. We're already signed up for a seminar with Magic Johnson. And there's a whole bunch of other great speakers. There's a racer that's coming in, the first Black American IndyCar driver is going to be there, and he's going to speak. And so there's a whole lot of great speakers. There's a whole bunch. We already got an interview with one of the companies that actually makes springs and torsion bars for cars, RVs, trucks, all kinds of stuff. So we're actually going to talk to the president there. They actually contacted us and said, hey, would you like to talk to our president? I'm like, sure. So I went on their website and I thought, okay, yeah, they sell springs for RVs and for my truck and stuff. I want to lift my truck up or a better stabilization for the front. And it's been in business for a long time. And I thought, yeah, no, that might be interesting for you guys to talk about. But they're going to have stunt shows out there. They also have motorcycle stuff too. There's motorcycle stuff will be in there too and stuff. So it's a full week. The other thing that they have with that is another convention they've actually added to it this year, which is called the Apex. It's the Automotive Aftermarket Product Expo. It's going to be at the Venetian, and the SEMA show is over at the convention center.
It's the Sands.
Yeah. So, but you'll see prototype vehicles. It's like, if you ever been to a car show, like at a convention center or something, this is like on a car show on steroids. You know, it's blown out of proportion. We got a friend that's in the collision business, and he goes to them all the time. And I see the pictures. You know, they bring in these crazy trucks, and they got a whole area where they're going to be doing all these demos and all this stuff at, and it'll be kind of neat. So that'll be something neat for you guys to check out and see. You know, we just thought we'd add it to our schedule because we don't have a lot going on this time of year. It's kind of quiet for us. And I got a great video coming up here real soon, probably this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday will come out. And I won't tell you what it is because I don't want anybody to beat me to it. But it's one that people ask a lot of questions. Actually, this video that I just did talking about what's going on with the industry, you know, with motorcycle rallies, what's going on this year with them. You know, we had a lot of good turns. I think we're almost up to 10,000 views on it, which is pretty good for this time of year. And had a lot of great comments on it. And so I'm taking some of those comments that you guys made, and I'm going to make a video and add another step to that. And because a lot of people ask that question, why do you do this? Why would I want to do that? Well, I'm going to tell you why I do what I do. So kind of interesting. So that's going to be coming up here probably either Saturday or Sunday. So kind of neat. Anybody had any questions? Just chit-chatting?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the cars and the trucks was.
You said we're going to do videos on cars and trucks.
That's probably at the SEMA show.
That's what you told me to write down.
Yeah, we already talked about Magic Johnson. We talked about Halloween. And so if you're going to be in Las Vegas during that time of October 30th through November 4th, which we'll be leaving on the 4th, so we'll be staying close to evening before we leave. That's when the convention is over. I know we've already been contacted by, was really shocking. One of our subscribers actually a couple weeks ago, before I even signed up, when I was thinking about it, they said, "You are going to SEMA, right?" And I'm like, "How do they know?" So we're like, yeah. So they're going to contact us. But so if you're in the area, or if you want to meet up with us or something, or go out and have lunch or dinner or something, let us know, because we won't be there all the time. Probably the first few days I'll be walking all over. She probably will be just sitting on a couch someplace, because the first tour is like 45 minutes long, and she'll never make walking 45 minutes. And around to show you all the stuff before it opens. They show you where all the vendors are and where everything's at and all that. And I want to do that because I've never been there. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I hate that when I get home and I'm like, son of a buck. That happened in Milwaukee. They had this crazy street that they do all these burnouts, and it's like Mardi Gras on motorcycles. And I'm like, how the heck did we miss this? Nobody told us nothing about it. I seen it on Facebook next day. And I'm like, we went all the way to Milwaukee, probably never go there again. And we missed probably the biggest spectacle in motorcycle history.
Of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So yes, we got a 2021 Ford Ranger, and it's not a 4-wheel drive. It's a SXT.
I don't know what it is. It's kind of a basic
running
model.
boards.
What we've got is our little Ford Ranger I've got. It's got 177,000 miles on it. It's a 2003. I bought new. We're giving that to one of our grandsons. And so when I was getting ready to get rid of it, well, we don't really, the truck's got too many miles on it. It's a big truck. It's got too many miles on it. It's got 125,000. The truck's supposed to last me a lifetime. And so that's one of the reasons we're talking about trying to figure out how we could start flying to some of these rallies and things like that instead of driving all the time to them. That's a whole nother story, but not tonight. And so we started looking around and said, we need something else. Well, then when I got ready to get rid of the little truck's handy. We don't pay for trash because we're not here. In our stupid city that we're in, you have to pay $30 a month if you're here or not. You can't cancel it. So it's like, why 6 months of the year are we going to pay $30 a month? So we go down to the dump for like, it's a $13.20. It's got some 26 cents or something. It's got some odd amount. And it's only right down the road. And they've got some dumpsters that are right out front. So you just go in, you run on a scale, you say household trash, and they go, you want to go to the dumpster? Yeah, I want to go to the dumpster. You just pull out. You don't have to go into the dump or anything else. You throw your trash in there and come on back. So the rest of the time, we just go down to Walmart, just throw the regular trash bag in there, and we'll go to Walmart or something. And,
or down to the city park. They got big dumpsters down there.
So normally, but I got a bunch of
charging.
boxes. I'm putting another split unit in the bathroom. I decided not to do that. To run the big central unit in there, I'm just going to use the big central unit to air condition the whole inside of the shit.
Sooner the better. The prices are only going up.
What? Oh.
Neil says he hasn't booked the cabin
You better
yet.
book. We'll talk about that a little bit too. We'll bring that up now because I'll probably forget about it. If you're thinking about going to Sturgis, everybody's on. Normally most people don't book till around the first of the year. I can't believe how many campgrounds and hotels are starting to book up already for this year, for 2024. And I think of what's happening is, which I may be seeing through these rallies, I think a lot of people are saying, I'm not going to Daytona. I'm not going to Myrtle Beach. I'm going to save my money up and I'm going to take a week vacation and I'm going to Sturgis. If I'm going to spend my money, I'm going to go to the big one. And I think that might be what happens. And we'll have to wait and see how Sturgis turns out in 2024, if it's big. And we'll have to see how Daytona turns out for next year. If it, but I think with everything, if you watched the video the other day, we talked about that with the price of gas. And, everybody always complains about all the prices and all this stuff. And I got a lot of people that said you could stay in tents. Now, a lot of the rallies, you can't stay in tents. In Daytona, you can if you stay at
Cackleberry or Cabbage Patch.
What's the one we recommended?
Crazy Horse.
Yeah, Crazy Horse. That's where I'd stay. Crazy Horse, that's where Camp Easy Ride's at now. That's where I would stay if I was tent camping. But a lot of these campgrounds, like you go to Galveston, there's no place to tent camp. You go to Leesburg, you could go to
Windy Acres.
Yeah, Windy Acres, you could do some tent camping there. But you go to Panama City, there's no place to tent camp. So a lot of these rallies you go to, you're very limited to what you can stay. Most of them are hotels, and they got very few campgrounds that are there. Sturgis is really the only one that has all these things that open up, these campgrounds, especially that open up just for the rally, because they make so much money. And a lot of people say, it's so expensive to go there. Well, I always say it's really not any expensive more there than to go to Daytona. Because like I say, when we went to Daytona first time 4 years ago, it cost us $1,600 for just the week of the rally to put our trailer. And that didn't even come with sewer. So, and that's what it cost us that same year in Sturgis, $1,600 to stay at the Buffalo Chip for the full rally. So it's about the same price when you go to a big rally. Now there is exceptions, just like we just talked about Bikes, Blues and BBQ. We stayed in a place, what was it, $100 a night? At that bread?
Oh yeah.
That
Bed
Airbnb.
breakfast.
I want to say bed breakfast, but it's not. It's an Airbnb. But I mean, where any rally you could go to and find an Airbnb for $100 a night. And I imagine the hotels are probably very reasonable too. We didn't check. We should.
Yeah, a ton of them.
Yeah. How many rooms they have?
They had over 50 motels.
That's in Eureka Springs.
Hard telling what's in all the other cities.
Yeah. But
Rogers.
it's I really like that. We'll get into that on when we do a wrap up. We'll be doing that here soon too. A wrap up of all the rallies this year that we did, and talk about what we liked and what we didn't like and things like that. And all rallies. And sometimes I always say that. I've kind of badmouthed Laconia over the years since we went. But I mean, the reason I did is because people built it up bigger than it was, and when I got there, it was like I was disappointed. It wasn't what people promised me that it was. And most rallies you go to, just like what's going on in Daytona right now for Biketoberfest, it's called the 300-mile club. Most of the people that came to that rally this weekend are within 300 miles of that and come. Now, there is a few exceptions. Granted, there could be somebody from Canada that came all the way down for the weekend. But I'm saying average. And that's what you see in a lot of fall rallies. Now, we had one of our subscribers that actually commented that the attitude in Myrtle Beach compared to Daytona is totally different. He said, I forget what was the word that he used for Myrtle Beach, kind of funky or something.
Yeah, it had a funky overtone or something.
Yeah. And so I really didn't know what that meant, but he said he's in Daytona now, and he says it's just got a lot better atmosphere there. I don't know, but I guess I could see that.
I was trying to get. It was James, I think.
So our next event that we're going, not really an event that we're going to, but from November 7th to December 3rd, we are heading to Kansas. We're heading to Wichita, Kansas. Our daughter moved over there. She actually just bought a house today. And we're going to go over there and spend some time with her. And if you're anywhere in the Kansas, Wichita area, we're not looking to drive hundreds of miles to meet you. Because we're actually taking our little red truck to our grandson and dropping it off, and we're flying home. So we really don't have a vehicle to run all over. But if you want to meet with us, and if you're in that area, write that down on your calendar, November 7th through the 3rd, and you can contact
Gwen and
us.
Greg live down in Oklahoma City, and then it seems like there's somebody else that lives over in Kansas City.
And I can say if there's a weekend you want to come up and maybe stay someplace up there, and maybe we do something over the weekend, and you can meet our grandkids. And because during the week, it won't be a whole lot. During the day, our daughter works. And everybody works. So during the day, we've got some time to do stuff during the day. If you're retired or you're taking a couple of days off to come see us. So
now everybody will have a car.
Yeah. Our son-in-law just bought a truck.
So we can use our daughter's car while she's working.
Yeah. So we're driving a little red truck. And so that's what's going on. So write that on your calendar for November 7th to the 3rd. And we'll be out there looking around and see what the heck's going on out there. If there's any dealers, things like that. It's going to be getting colder, so I don't know if we'll be renting any motorcycles or doing anything or riding bikes or anything. But let's look and see. I don't know if there's any manufacturers in Kansas. If you know of any, let me know. But I don't know anything about that. So it's more of a vacation to go visit the daughter. She moved away. They were going to come back for Christmas. Now they're not. And so this will be our only time to see her this year. And they usually come to Florida with us for spring break. And their spring break now is going to end up being right in the middle of Daytona Bike Week. So they won't be coming down for that. So I don't know. We may be going into California for a week. We still have our campground. For 5 years, we get a free trailer rental. And if we don't use it, we lose it. So we probably might do that in December. We might go there or might go over in Arizona.
Or Utah.
Yeah. So we'll see what we got, and when that comes up, we'll let you know if that's available. If the weather's halfway decent, we may take the bike too. Maybe she'll drive the truck and I'll follow her in the bike, and maybe do some riding. We'll see. But just to kind of let you guys know about that. So that's some of the wrap up things that we're going to be doing. We have one last big event that I'd love to do. This will be our 3rd year for this, and it's the Mecum auction. That's going to be on January 24th through the 27th. Now, right now, supposed to be, Amsoil Adam and Katie is supposed to come out. If they don't come out, we may have 2 passes that we may pass along to somebody to come along with us. It's not buying passes, they're media passes. So it gets you in, you can see what we do and hang out with us the whole time. But it's kind of neat. I love going to this for 2 reasons. One, it's like going to a museum, and you can touch these bikes, you can sit on them, and to sit on, like one of the bikes there 2 years ago sold for $1 million. It was the Harley, it's got the strap tank on it. $1 million, the most expensive Harley ever sold in the world. And we got pictures of it. I got to go back and find them. But because she looked at it and said, you think they could have fixed the tank so they didn't have to put metal straps on it?
That's what I thought. I didn't know. It looked like they were like just leather straps. They just strapped it on. It's like, I don't know. Thought they could use something a little more sturdy than that.
So that's going to be going on. So we'll be over there. I think we're over there almost a week in Vegas again for that. So we'll see what happens if Adam's going to come over. Main thing, they were on that cruise for those. They went on a couple cruises and they were gone. And then Katie wanted to really spend time with her daughter and son and their grandkid and all that kind of stuff. So
they were gone a lot this year more.
Yeah.
We were probably home more than they were this year.
Well, they did that cruise. That's what took so much time. They were gone
and
from
they're going to go on
Sturgis
another cruise too.
Yeah, so they really, I think they were only home like 2 days before they had to go to Myrtle Beach. So yeah, so I don't know if they're going to make it out or not. So if they don't, we have 2 more passes that can get in. We put in for 4, and so we'll invite somebody to come. And we'll see how that all works out. We'll let you know. We're not going to have a drawing or nothing like that. We'll just have to see who it is. She had somebody already that she thought about going. That's actually came to Vegas during this time already before. So we'll see what happens. Who's writing you?
June, but I'm not quite sure what she meant. So I wrote her back. She's messaging me. So I don't know what that means either. It was nice to have a moat vendors, but built a parking lot view stand for the pictures. I guess somebody said that where the stand was, there's vendors there now. So you can't really take a picture of all the bikes in the parking lot anymore. I don't know if that was Neil that told me that or somebody else. Somebody else did mention that.
We didn't go up there this year and took any pictures from there, but I mean,
we have in the past though.
Yeah, we have in the past.
You know why they use straps? Because whips and chains would have been too obvious.
And so pretty exciting. Like I say, this is kind of weird for a Friday night for doing this, and see how this all turns out. We're at a different side of the shop, or the video
Somebody
part.
asked if that was a new picture, and I'm like, no. Well, it is, and it's not.
Well, if you watch the original video of us showing you, this is the studio part. Eventually, I'm going to get a lift in here. I'm looking at a couple different ones, and I'll probably make easy payments on it probably. But we're not really ready for bikes yet, so I'm not really ready to make a payment on it yet. But behind us, this is the opposite side of where we were the other day we did the shop. So that's why I told her, I said, we need to move around a little bit, and so people can see it looks like we're in a different setup. So behind us is Elvis. And then behind my head here is a picture of Daytona when they used to race on the beach. It's a picture we got from the museum. And then we got a picture of Easy Rider back there. And I got this chopper picture. I have no idea where that came from. Don't know where I got that at. I don't know if it's somebody I know that had that bike. I have no idea. But when I went through all my pictures and stuff, this one, these 3 here that the first 3 I talked about, those I got all from the museum in Iowa. That closed up, that sold other stuff.
The JMP Cycle Museum, the Parm Museum.
Yeah. And so we got that from them. And that was pretty neat. I'm really glad I made it there. It was worth going to and checking it out and seeing all that and talking to her. And I'd love to talk to him too, but he's gone. He died. So we don't get to talk to him. But I mean, it's great. But which it is. That's for us getting late into being involved with YouTube and all this. You know, we've missed out on a lot of great people that we probably could have got interviews with. I would have loved to have talked to Arlen Ness. And, there's a whole list of people that I would have just loved to talk to. That's why I try to get all this stuff. We just got done talking to the Buffalo Chip the other day about, I'd love to sit down. They got all this footage from over 20 years of the Buffalo Chip. And I would love to start working with that footage and work with them and do a video every Thursday and call it Throwback Thursdays. And what I would do would be make the video, send it to Rod Woody that owns it, and let him talk about those days. And, it might not, I don't get a lot of views on history, but to me, it's priceless because these people, just like, like in Sturgis, there's so many people that aren't there no more. Pappy Hoyle's not around anymore. There's a lot of these great people that started this industry isn't around anymore. And it's going to be pretty soon, they're going to be gone and it's going to be forgotten. It used to be your grandparents, like our grandparents would sit down and they'd tell us stories. Well, nowadays, the kids don't want to hear any stories about what we know or anything like that. And it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that history's, and so I don't want to talk about schools, getting rid of all their books and stuff, that they don't want to talk about history anymore. And so there's good and bad. You learn from the bad and you move on. And somebody has a question?
No. I've got something I need to send to somebody, and they're in the back of the bike.
Mm-hmm. So Steven's not on, is he? Oh, we got our sign out front. Steven made us for this. We went and seen him the first year in Murder Beach. We'll be there in spring.
Probably the second year.
He's been working at the dealership.
Yeah, he has.
Cleaning up bikes. And but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sorry we're not doing.
Oh, there's a question. They want to know what happens to all the bikes that don't sell at the museum for the auction.
They go back to whoever was the original
owner.
It,
you take it home.
That's right. So, like for instance, the AC/DC bike that was there. So what happens with the auction is you can go on the site right now and they already have bikes that you can see that's going to be auctioned off. There's a couple of them I looked at. There's one that's where I say it was in Chicago. This guy that owned the dealership for like 40 years. He's died now, and they're selling
Brian Brown.
I don't know. They're selling his collection, and so you can click on it. And you can see all these bikes. Well, you have to pay for that. So they have all these things. It costs you so much to put your bike in, and if you want it to be sold on a certain day, you pay this. And there's all these
certain
different
hour, fees. And how much is the description you want of it? Because some of those bikes, like the AC/DC bike and the bike that was saying by David Mann, it wasn't in the description. So people didn't know and they won't say it. So you just have to walk by and happen to see that bike.
Well, just like one of our subscribers bought a bike from OC Choppers. And it wasn't from OC Choppers, but it's a bike they made.
They built.
But it didn't, in the listing, it did not say it was an OC Chopper bike.
So he got a really good deal on it.
Got a great deal on it. And he loves riding it. Yep, and he loves riding that bike. Right?
I don't know. It felt like it really went down.
And so... yeah, so there's a lot of
Karen leaving.
But yeah, it's just a lot of great and we met Mike Wolf there this year. It was this year. Yeah,
Pat Simmons.
Yeah, Pat Simmons. We've met him twice now. Doobie Brothers, one of the last original Doobie Brothers. And but I mean, it's just neat to some of the people you don't know who they are. And that's the bad thing with me. I just like when I met Sugar Bear. I had to type it in, and I'm like, this guy's got to be somebody. Holy crap, that Sugar Bear that makes all those front ends for choppers and stuff. And I'm like, holy crap, I want to go talk to this guy. And I didn't get enough time to get him on channel, but hopefully he'll be alive next year when we get to Sturgis, and we'll sit down and talk to him. He already said he'd do an interview and stuff with us. So I'd love to sit down and talk to him and stuff. But see, to me, I love that because it's the history of what made all this happen. And I know a lot of people I don't get the views for that. Like we did when we first did Rod, the Buffalo Chip, Woody there. We did 40 years of the chip, and we didn't really get a lot of views off of that. And which was fine because I really just wanted to know myself too. I wanted to know how he started, what made him do this, he was a lawyer. And what makes a lawyer want to open a motorcycle campground, but there's so much. We talk about the Buffalo Chip. We just got off the phone with him yesterday. I talked to him and talking to Damon, that's his son. And they're wanting us to do something with their YouTube channel. And we have no idea what they want to do. I don't think they know what they want to do either. And I'm like, whatever you want to do, let me know. Otherwise we're going to keep continuing doing what we do. And you contact us and let me know. And I talked about that Thursday. And they're like, well, that might be something really interesting. And he goes, well, why don't you write a script up for it? How can I write a script up for something? I don't know what your footage is. I said, I need the footage. So that's why I said, well, I don't want to get into all that. But one of the things I was talking about the Buffalo Chip is when we first went to the Buffalo Chip and stayed there 3 or 4 years ago, when we first kind of started getting into YouTube, we knew about the Buffalo Chip, but we never spent any real time there. We went to a couple concerts and stuff. We were at Kid Rock in 2015 when lightning came down. But we heard all these horror stories. People were saying people were pooping in the showers and all this stuff. And it's like, man, I can't believe that. So we get down there and we're camping and stuff. And we take a shower in the shower house every night. Ain't nobody pooping in the showers. There wasn't.
Oh, I've heard that at Glencoe too. People say that. And we've asked Tony and Judy and they said they've never seen that.
And I think it's people that are either jealous or maybe they were drunk. You know, yeah, I've seen the toilets get full at times. And I've seen the outhouses get full at times. But I mean, it's, you know, if somebody goes in there and explodes in the toilet and they don't get it flushed and they just leave. And then once
I see that in regular bathrooms.
Yeah. So, but yes, as soon as they can get it fixed, they get somebody in there and they take care of it. And it's not,
Jerry says, we're all saying Kathmandu next year.
That's right. So we already told me, I told him that on the phone when I told him, I said, you know, we were very disappointed in what happened with us at the Chip. I only made half the money. I didn't even really make half the money I did. And I bought banners and we spent a lot of money. I rented a camera that I didn't need to rent. And ended up, we lost our butt on doing it. And we were promised the world and it didn't turn out. So I wasn't overly joyed. So that's why this year when we went to Kathmandu, and we know there is a new owner of Kathmandu. Somebody wrote me a big long letter the other day and just wanted to let it go, which I already met the new owner. I didn't meet his wife, but I did meet him. And very nice guy. We need to write him and tell him that, because when we talked to him, when we met him that day, he hadn't even bought it yet. I think he was still kind of talking about negotiating buying it. And he sat down and talked to me a little bit about, because I've been camping since, to let you know how old I am, since about 1964. So I've camped my whole life, and she camped since she was 16 years old. She used to go with me and my parents and camping there. And then once we started dating, then we started going out camping on our own. Slept in the back of a pickup truck with a camper shell. Not a camper, just a shell on it with a piece of plywood on it, with a piece of wood underneath it, with a piece of foam on it, and a couple sleeping bags. Did that a lot. Put a little Coleman stove on the back of the tailgate and
cooked.
Yeah, we survived. Did it the cheap way. And so we got a lot of experience. Plus, I do all these rallies. And so he was asking questions, and they want to do some entertainment. And I said, you got to get a band. If you get a band in there, you got to get it over by 11 o'clock. That campground's well known for being quiet. And you got to get a band in there that's not going to be so freaking loud that nobody can talk. If you're going to put them in the tin building, make sure it's okay in there. But if I'm sitting outside of the tin building, they got tables around the side, I can still sit there and talk because that's what the campground's about. And then I said the bathrooms, that's always been one of the highlights of that place is they've had the cleanest bathrooms I've ever seen at a campground. And he says, and I said, you need to asphalt the roads. And he says, I'll get that all done. Well, this guy actually, I can't remember exactly what he said he owns. He either owns the stockyards or he owns an auction house over in, is it Sioux Falls or Sioux? In South Dakota. That's where their original house is. And then they have another house that's over here in Sturgis that they own. And I think he said he had another house someplace else. So he's got some money. And he wants to, I don't know what made him decide to buy this. But he acts like he wants to spend some money, wants to fix it up. And he's going to be open, not all year round, but all summer long. So he's going to be
from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Yeah. And maybe longer. And just depending on the weather and stuff. Because a lot of the campgrounds there by, I think Days Inn closes up here like October 1st. And a lot of the other places wrap up. Only exception to the rule is kickstands. Kickstands there year round. Even in the snow, you can pull your trailer in there and they'll find you a place to put. I don't know how the water doesn't freeze, which it might. I don't know if they turn the water off during this.
Maybe it's only boondocking. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you can, if you own at the Chip, you can boondock there all year round too.
That's right. And if you want to know about that, you got to look for that video. How you can be a resident at the Buffalo Chip. If you got a camper, got to have a camper. And
Ryder X says, dog woman do. I guess that's what he calls it. Instead of Kathmandu, it's dog woman don't.
No, it's Kathmandu from Bob Seger.
Yep. That's
one time, the first time I went there, we had that playing on the radio when we came in. On the bike.
One of my favorite songs by him.
Well, she's a big Bob Seger fan. We finally got to see Bob Seger once. Then we got a couple guys that, we got one guy comes out of California. He even looks like Bob Seger. Sounds like him. He's good. There's some really good tribute bands out here. And sometimes they're better than the original ones.
Because they play all the hits.
Yeah, they don't play crap that I still complain about ZZ Top all the time because the first time we seen ZZ Top, and Jesus, is probably like 25 years ago at a rally in California, Kentucky. And they came out and they go, we got a brand new album. We're going to play you a few songs. They play like 5 of them. That stupid album. I bought the album. Not one of those songs ever got into the top 1,000. And I hate that. Because it's like, no, why don't you just say, hey, we got a new album and here's what it is.
Or play the release from it or whatever.
Well, if you've already got it out and it's already hitting the charts, then yeah. Because it's kind of like Jackal does that. Jackal's got a brand new song out. And he put it out before he started doing some of the concerts that he was going to, I think he did it in Ocean City or someplace. He put it out a week or two ahead to let you hear the main song that he's pushing. And I didn't listen to it. But if it's catchy song and people are starting to like it, well, then when you go to the concert and you're like, oh yeah, I like that song. Okay, yeah, I kind of know it, but I don't really know the words, but okay, yeah. But when you go to a concert and they're playing a song like you never heard of before, you're like, okay, okay. All right, it's over, fine, yeah, it's over.
I don't know who we went to see one time. That's what they did. They said, oh, we've got these new album out. And they played like almost every song off that album. I was not a
Her favorite concert she ever went to.
Beach Boys.
That's right. We were very lucky one time, but once again, at the Funtucky. It's Fontana.
No, it's Pomona.
Pomona
Both
Fair?
of them, yes.
Mm-hmm. Sounds better to call it Funtucky. That's where the NASCAR track's at, in Funtucky.
Pomona.
I think it's in Funtucky too. And so in Pomona, they have, I forgot what I was going to say. Billy going to the Beach Boys. And so I've always, that was my dream. When we were in high school, that's always been my dream. I wanted to move to California. I wanted to go see the beach girls. I wanted to do all that. That was my dream. Married her instead. Never made it until I was too old not be a beach guy anymore. So, I listened to the Beach Boys all the time, all that, never seen them. Well, before they did their 50th tour, they came into the Pomona Fair, which is the
LA Fair.
Yeah, the LA Fair. And I just happened to look on Groupon or something, or one of those discount ticket hub or something. And they had tickets for like $40 and it was front row seats. And I'm like, you want to go see the Beach Boys? And she's like, yeah, let's go see them. $40, it's down front. And John Stamos was playing the drums. So a lot of young kids were there. And they played every song that you knew. It wasn't one song that they played, it was new. And I watched the 50th anniversary they played on TV. And they sucked on that one. When they played at the fair, they were excellent. They sounded the same. You could close your eyes and it was just like listening to the CD. It was a great time and it was a good concert. It wasn't my best, but it was a good concert. And but she likes to sing. We were center
row. We were front center, right in the middle, and it was awesome because I knew every song.
And you're right up close enough. Once you start sitting close like that, I can't sit up in the nosebleed anymore. Because once you sit that close and you can see them interact and stuff with you, it's like, oh my gosh, I cannot ever sit anywhere else. So I look at that when we go to concerts because if they want $300 or $400 in the front, I'm like, no, we ain't paying that. That's not worth. I'm not worth me to pay that much money to sit that close. One time she always wanted to see Elton John. Well, in Las Vegas, it's $300 for every seat. If you're sitting all the way back there in the cheap seats, or if you're all the way down in the front, it's $300. And I'm like, no. Not for $600 to go see Elton John. I bought her a CD or the DVD. I bought her. You can watch it on TV. She was okay with that. She wouldn't spend $300 either. Mm-hmm. And so,
I think it was our anniversary. We both did the same thing because we knew we were going to Vegas and we knew Elton John was going to be playing. So I kind of looked and I thought I'd secretly buy tickets, and he kind of looked to see. And
the crap, dude. We both would have bought tickets.
I don't think we both would have bought tickets for $600.
No, but I mean, just would have bought tickets at all. So. We did a lot of concerts. I keep telling her we need to write them down. There was the other day. That's what I said. We grew up in Illinois, and the band Foghat is actually from Illinois. And she's like, man, we've never seen them. And all of a sudden on my Facebook page, it came up and said they were in Sturgis, and we were at the concert. Foghat's playing.
Foghat.
And I'm like, look, we seen Foghat. And she's like, oh yeah, but I said, yes, it is. It's right here.
Didn't remember.
And there's a lot. Well, Willie Nelson's like that. We seen Willie Nelson like 20 years ago. And I'm like, no, we've never seen Willie Nelson. She goes, yes, we had Willie Nelson. She goes, remember that time? It was during Bike Week in Laughlin. She goes, remember that time we went down there? I think it was at the Hilton. And we were sitting outside, and they had the bus driver came up and sang, and I'm like, oh, it really wasn't a Willie.
Well, it was called Willie Nelson and Family. And so Willie came out and sang a song, and he went off stage. And then his kids came out, his grandkids came out, the bus driver came out and sang a song. And then Willie came out the last song.
And he couldn't sing back then. And that's when people say, like in Sturgis, they like, bring Willie Nelson back. And I'm like, I told Rod that. No, do not bring Willie Nelson back for nothing. It's kind of like David Allan Coe. If you're coming to see David Allan Coe to hear him sing, forget it. You go to see David Allan Coe to be in the presence of David Allan Coe. It's kind of like Paul McCartney now. If you hear Paul McCartney sing, he's deaf. He's so far off key, it's ridiculous.
He can't hear the music.
Yeah. So I can't go to somebody like that because I picture what I heard on the music. That's how I want to hear it. And it's like we went and seen ELO years ago in Hollywood, up at the Hollywood Bowl. Only time we ever went. Seen ELO. The only bad thing was the laser show wasn't as good. But it was perfect. You could hear the music was so great. The same thing we like about George Thorogood. You listen to George Thorogood and he still sounds just as good as he did back when he made the albums. And so there's a lot of really good artists out there, but there's a lot of these artists when they come out, it's like, oh my gosh, they don't sound nothing. You know, we watched the other day, there was one on YouTube came up of KC and the Sunshine Band. She never seen him. And I'm like,
I said, I like all the songs, but if you would have showed me a picture and said, hey, who is this?
Now he's like 400 pounds and he's out there trying to dance, discoing. I thought I looked bad, but geez, I lost 2 pounds. I lost 3 and she made me eat at the end of the day and I gained a pound back. Losing weight. My goal of 30 days, 30 pounds. See what happens. So that's some of the great stuff that's going on here in the Bob and Tam land. So any questions? Nobody's asking any questions?
No, nope, they're all just kind of talking to themselves.
Many people on? 40 people. A little more than normal. But yeah, it's been working on the shop today. I got a few things done. I got, what did I get done?
Split unit up.
Got a new split unit for the bathroom. I decided I'm just going to do that on its own. And so we bought one from Home Depot, just a cheap one, like $8.99, $9.99. Got the 18-month easy payment plan. And so we put a sheet of drywall up, and I got the inside unit hung. So we just bought the concrete tonight, and I'm going to pour the concrete tomorrow morning for the pedestal to put the outside unit on. I don't like to put blocks down. I don't like to use the plastic, but we'll put that up. And then next week I'll be bolting that in, and we'll have that running. And then I got all the shower controls in, and it was a stupid handle. The handle just turns. So of course, it was on when I turned the water on. So I had to put the fans in there to dry the drywall off and all that because I don't have the shower part in yet because we're still trying to put everything together. So I got all that put in. That turned out all right. And then no leaks so far. That's why I got it open. I'm checking for leaks. And I got the water softener hooked up. I still got to run a drain outside. So it's not turned on, but it's hooked up. There's no leaks there. The box that we're going to put the circulating unit on for the air conditioner to air condition the whole entire shop. I got the vents all cut out today for the sucking the cool air or sucking the hot air to make it cool air. Got those cut out today. So I got that done. What else did I get done today? That's about it. So I got quite a bit done this morning. And so tomorrow,
with the water softener?
I said that, water softener. And then tomorrow we're probably just going to pour that pad. And I don't have a whole lot. That's probably all I'm going to do tomorrow. It's getting hot now. We're like 102 today. And it's supposed to cool down again next week. So I still got some miscellaneous things to still do here. We still got to finish some of the drywall in the bathroom. I was getting ready to put the medicine cabinet in, and I didn't get that far today to do that. So that's about, then once I get that done in the bathroom, we finish putting up I guess we got about 2 or 3 more sheets of drywall in the bathroom. And then we got to do
the
ceiling. And then, I got to do the vent. I was going to do that today, and I don't think I have a saw that big to cut a hole in the metal building to run the vent out. I got the vent already mounted and all that's there. I just got to run the vent out. So I got all the pipe, got all the stuff to do it. I didn't get that far today to put that in. I was thinking about it, but I don't think I have a saw that big.
So Greg, do you mean this fall coming up or next year? We'll be there probably next spring.
Yeah.
I need to talk to Chris, but, and then somebody wanted to know what our plans were for going back out to Bikes, Blues and BBQ.
Right now, tentatively, we are. Are you the one that asked when the dates were? Your name looked really familiar.
Kevin Mahoney.
Are you the one that asked? Somebody asked about a week or 2 ago what the dates were. We called them and they're like, no, but the city hasn't announced them yet. So when they just popped up on my thing, that's why I put it on there because I didn't know. I couldn't remember. I can't go back. That's why I always tell everybody, email us. And nobody does that. When I get on here and I reply to you and it's something you're asking a question about, I write on there and say, email us. And then that way it's in the email and I can look at it all the time and I'll see it. But when it's in comments, I got thousands of comments. I have no idea I don't even know what topic.
So are you going to tell him when Blues and BBQ are?
I did. It is actually, I already said that.
Well, he might have just came
It's the 18th through the 21st of September. So right now, yes, we have all intentions of going because they already told us they'll sponsor us again next year. They'll give us a bike again. They'll give us a place to stay. We can stay there. We can stay anywhere we want. We can pick whatever we want. I just don't know how early we're going to get there. I don't know. I don't know.
Who's new mother-in-law? Your mother-in-law just left. He said, I just had the mother-in-law stay for 2 weeks. And you can't complain because the first weekend, you're gone all week. The first weekend you were sick, you didn't come home. You were gone all the second week.
He really wasn't sick.
So then you only had last weekend with her. So don't complain.
Is Patsy on?
I don't see Patsy. It can be challenging. MIL. I don't know.
And so I didn't say this the other night when I started saying something about it, but talking about tenders. I'm not a big person about tenders on my bike. I don't like to leave them on all the time, but the bike hasn't really ran since probably since we got back from the surgeries, I guess.
Probably not.
And
we need to get a hold of Mohawk Mike. He wanted to go for a ride.
I'd like to go tomorrow, but I don't know if I want to get up that early. The Pawn Stars is having their poker run tomorrow morning at 9:30.
How are you going to put in the concrete?
I don't know. Probably I'm going to go to the Pawn Star. Really wanted to go, but it's going to be hot again tomorrow. So we'd be coming back in the heat. It's about an hour and a half ride up. We have to get there really early, and then you're going to ride about half a day and then turn around, come back. And hotel rooms are really high. And we got a friend up there, but she hasn't invited us back again yet. And
she's got a new boyfriend.
He seems all right.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like he dislikes us. But,
he's not working. He had a shoulder scan, so he just had shoulder surgery, and he's still not back to work.
Yeah, but he's got a pension from the service. He used to be a helicopter pilot in the military. And then he worked for some government agency. I think he got a pension from that too.
He's got 2 pensions, and then
he's a bartender at one of the
he
conventions. He
always wanted to be a bartender, so he went to bartending school, and now he bartends at the Virgin Hotel.
One of the high-end deals there, and he does all the private parties. Makes the big money. So, okay, but that's all right. But so, yeah, we're pouring concrete in the morning and get that done because it's going to take, I have to wait 2 or 3 days before I drill holes to put the anchors in because I don't want nobody to steal my compressor outside. It won't take me long because I'm just going to wire it inside. It's only a 110 unit. I'm just going to run it in. I got 20 amp plugged in there. There's nothing really on that wall other than the water softener, and that's not even going to use probably 10 amps. So, and it's only going to run at night anyway. So it's only going to run probably once a year because we don't use that much water here. So I'm just going to run it inside, put a plug inside, run it there, and that's it. I'm not going to be really, not maybe it's fancy. Softener? No, the split unit. I'm going to run the plug inside. There's already a plug for the water heater. So we're getting pretty close. What?
Neil says he's in the mid-20s. We're in the mid-hundreds. Low hundreds. 102, 103, 105.
It was 102 today, I think is what the thermostat. Right now it says it's 95 degrees at 6 o'clock in Arizona. So yeah, it's been a little warm. Not too bad, but I mean, we've been out running around doing stuff. We're going to probably go out. We got to go return something. Oh, we got to go down to Coles. I don't know if we're going to go out to eat or not. I don't know. I'm not starving, but. So we'll see how that all turns out. And so. I don't know if we have anybody on that's down there by Oktoberfest, or they're all down there partying like there's nothing.
Daytona Dave was on. Emery wrote.
What did he say?
He just said hi. Mid-20s, ouch. Mike said to Neil. I don't know.
Fun of living in Alaska. There's no. So like I say, he always says that. I say, why don't you guys come up to Alaska? It's like going overseas. They put a big thing out now. You shouldn't be traveling overseas because of the terrorist things that's going on there. They hate Americans and all that. And it's most of these countries don't like Americans, just to be honest with you. So it's like I'm not a big overseas traveler to start with. Really, I've never gone overseas. And we're probably going to go to Hawaii next year sometime. But we've been to Canada, do Mexico, but I mean, other than that, I don't have any interest to go to Paris or anything like that. And with all these crazy wars, she always wanted to go to Israel, but apparently now she probably don't want to go to Israel no more. And so
I had a friend that just went. She said she's glad that she went when she did because he said, "Hey guys, Biketober Fest 2023."
There you go.
That's what he said.
And they're down there.
Yep.
And checking it out. Him and his buddy went down there.
Poor Keith had a flat tire on the way in the middle of Georgia, in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Took him over a couple hours just to get a.
That's why sometimes you're almost better. Like I seen someplace I was at, one of the rallies we were at, maybe it was in Sturgis, that they were selling a plug kit. And you never should plug a motorcycle tire. But if you were out there in the middle of nowhere and you got one of those compressors, you can buy those little cheap ass compressors that you can plug up to your cigarette lighter or whatever, or hook it up to the battery or whatever, and charge up and fill your tire up, put that plug in it and get you at least to the next town, maybe run 30 or 40 miles an hour, keep on the side of the road or whatever. It'd be better than sitting on the side of the road for maybe 3 or 4 hours waiting for somebody to show up. And then like us, that's what happened to us. We had to blow out on our bike years ago. By the time they finally came, got us to the dealership, they were closed. And of course, it's a Saturday night. They're closed on Sundays and Mondays. So we had to wait till Tuesday.
No, and Tuesday was like 4th of July. So they were closed that day. So we had to wait till Wednesday
to get a tire. What are you going to do? I mean, that's the problem. We ruined a trip that we were on. And so it's like, that's a bad thing when you travel on a motorcycle. You're very limited when things happen like that. You're limited. Now we've been really, knock on wood, that we've been very lucky on almost all of our rallies that we go to. We've never had any real trouble. We've never had a breakdown. We've never had, well, I did, somebody hit my bike, but it was here in Laughlin, so it wasn't too awful bad. We weren't that far. It was towards the end of the rally anyway. I think it was the last Saturday of the rally when that girl hit me.
Friends said, take us home.
And so, it wasn't so bad. But I mean, going to Sturgis and, when I see that sometimes people sitting on the side of the road and we're like, you're okay. And they're like, yeah, we're waiting. Huh? No, he never got no moose.
Poor Neil.
He needs to move. He needs to go moose hunting somewhere in Canada.
Our son-in-law went. Only was going to go for 2 days. He left Saturday, got down there Sunday, was coming home Monday. Got up Saturday morning, got there, went out, shot a deer, saw a deer, shot it, killed it.
He did crossbow. First time he ever shot anything. And first time he ever shot an animal.
Yeah.
And he got his first deer.
He was very excited. And my daughter was devastated.
Killed Bambi.
And then he put the dead deer in the car, and that didn't go over well either.
Just strap it to the roof.
She said, you wouldn't even put Charlie in the car, and you put a dead deer in the back of the car? She was not happy.
So, yeah. So that's going on. We'll find out. That's probably why she made him buy a truck this week and put that deer in there. But we'll see what happens with it, because none of his family is going to eat the deer meat. So I don't know what he's going to do with all that. I told him to make a bunch of Slim Jims. Those are always good. It's really,
her brother-in-law does it.
If you ever eat wild meat, it's most of the time it's better to get hamburgers and you mix it with pork or whatever you're mixing it with, and then you smear a crap load of barbecue, which is really crazy because you go to all that trouble and you get deer meat or whatever meat you're getting, and you put all these different seasonings and all this to kill the taste. And it's like, why don't you just buy a regular piece of meat
and be done with it?
Yeah. We used to buy
like a half a cow or a quarter cow or a pig or something with somebody would go in, and then you would have some meat, but you got to have a freezer then to put it in too. Bye, Neil.
He's got to go to bed.
No, I forget what he said he was going to do. He has to.
It's an hour earlier there.
I don't know. It's
only 5 o'clock.
It's 5, and I'm headed out to get my steak, whatever that means. STAKE.
Probably spelled it wrong. He might have meant a steak to eat because he ain't got no meat in the freezer. He's got to drive probably 100 miles to go to the steak market.
Elk in my pajamas. How I got the elk in my pajamas.
Well, like that, Sturgis, if you get on the Sturgis page of Sturgis, South Dakota, get on their page, you can't believe all these deers that are just walking down the street, and big old bucks, got big old antlers and stuff on them, 8, 10, 12 bucks, and just walking down the street. And there's a whole bunch of pictures and stuff on it. I seen one today. I don't know what city it was in, but there must have been 20 or 50 herd of bucks. They were all bucks, and they were sitting in the medium of this city, like on Main Street. They were all just sitting there. The car's driving by and they're just sitting there. Whatever, no big deal. Well, you see that when we travel, when we used to ride our bike to Sturgis, going through Wyoming and stuff, you go through some of those small towns, and you have to watch. There'll be a deer out in the front yard, or there's a cemetery, you go around this corner, and there's like a dozen deer standing out there in the middle of the afternoon.
When we came back from Hewlett that one time, it was just getting dark, and they were just hundreds of them out in these fields, just, I guess, grazing.
One buck ran right in front of us, a big old buck.
What were they called? Reindeer?
No, they're mule deers,
Hmm.
and they jump like rabbits. This one came down this hill.
It's huge.
And got right in front of us, looked at the truck because I was slowing down already because I seen him coming down the hill. And then he hopped. One hop, second hop, he jumped over the fence. Second hop, he was gone.
What was that?
I don't know. I think that's something came up.
Hmm.
Check. Our mics are still on. What's it say?
Disc not ejected properly.
Sorry. Can you still hear us? It almost made it look like our microphone went off.
Ejected properly.
Sorry. No, it's on. It's on. Computer
That's the no name. I don't know what that means.
So, not so exciting here on Friday night. I think we're more excited on Sunday nights. I don't know. Nobody asking any questions.
No.
Mexi Philly didn't come on. I guess he's probably working.
Yeah, because what time is it? 5, 6, 7, 8. It's only 8 there.
Well, it's after 8 because now it's an hour later.
6.
9.
So now it's 9. I don't know. He stays open until the concerts are over, doesn't he?
I don't know. Until business slows down, I guess. I don't know. He says he thinks the Broken Spoke's hurting his business because they're open this year. This is the first time since we've been going down there that the Broken Spoke has been open on Biketoberfest. And tonight they've actually got hairballs playing. We like them. They're like a tribute band, but they dress up. And no 2 nights are ever the same concert. And they do different. It's not all just one night. They'll start out and they'll do like Prince, and then they'll do Van Halen, and they have different artists that dressed up in that costume.
It's like 2 or 3 singers, and then they do all these different artists. Each one does different artists. So while one's singing and performing, and he'll see 2 or 3 songs of that artist, the one in the back's changing into his other costume, and he comes out and does 2 or 3 artists. And then, so we've only seen him a couple of times.
Well, which is bad. With us, with doing YouTube, it's hard to go out and just sit and see that because there's so much stuff. It's just like here. I almost glad we're not down there because yesterday, Willie had his bike show. The dealership had their bike show. Cackleberry had their bike show. And I'm assuming that Cabbage Patch probably had one going on over there. So not saying that nobody else, Doghouse, nobody else was having a bike show going on either. So there's all that. There's 4 things going on in just one day. There's a lot of stuff going on. And so that's what's tough when you have an event that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days. They're just trying to jam too much stuff in. But the problem is nobody's coming on Thursday. You got your local people that are already there, your retirees. Some of the people are saying they're seeing a lot of retirees that were there on Thursday. Or people that are off. They're coming from what's that called out there? The old folks live at.
Oh, the villages.
Yeah, where the fun people live at.
Michael Ballard talks to us, but he won't go on camera because we won't pay him.
Yeah. Michael Ballard's all about money. Now, he has talked to some people. I've seen a few videos that he's chatted with people, but when we talk to him all the time, he always says the same thing, that I'm working, which he is. He's working on a Patreon channel now because he can't get anybody to take his channel. That he was trying, for the last 3 years, he's been telling us that he's working on a new series that he's trying to get somebody to buy. Well, nobody wants it. So he's been showing a lot of his, on YouTube, he's showing some old videos from back when he had his channel. And in there, it talks about a Patreon channel that they're working on. They want you to pay to see Sturgis pages. So that's why he don't want to talk on camera, because he's afraid he don't want to give any of his secrets out. So it is what it is. And we can get footage there. We've got enough people. We know a lot of the security people and stuff like that, and they're always going to let us in. Because one time he said, I'm even thinking about not allowing any YouTubers or anybody in there even to film. And we talked to some of the people that we know, because we know half the people that work there, and they're like, don't worry about it. Well, you guys can get in, you can film. But we can't get behind the scenes like we would do it in a lot of the other places that we film. So we've tried. And Michael will talk to us. Angie and them, we've met him several times at Louis and different things like that, and they'll chat with us and everything else. But if I try to turn the camera on, he's like, no, I won't go on camera. And I'm like, well, he says, I don't go on camera. Dude, you had a TV show. You're on the camera all the time.
That's why Daytona Dave says, I think that's why Teddy Morris ran Trike Fest in front to make it a 10-day event. I think that's what they're trying to do, which would be nice. It would make it more profitable for us to go.
Well, the problem with trikes is it's like they do in Deadwood. That's about 2 weeks before Sturgis. They have a 3-wheel rally there. Well,
Like
the
June
first
16th.
couple of years, I think it's 7 or 8 years now. Maybe it's 13 years. I don't know how many years it is they've been doing it. I forget. First couple of years they did it, they had a lot of trikes. Well, now it's more of a Can-Am and a rally like that. There's only a very few trikes that even show up. And so we kind of don't. Adam goes to it. He does it now. And we stop in there for a day, and that's about it because it just isn't enough content for us to do anything with them. So.
Well, they're all big into riding. So what they do is they go up, they have breakfast, they all go out riding all day, they come back, they have a little party, a dinner, a band, and then they all go to bed. So all during the day, if you didn't go out on the ride with them, there's nothing going on.
So I don't know. They said that when I talked to Eli today from XC Philly, and he said that a lot of the vendors were complaining there wasn't hardly nobody there or anything else. But what a lot of the vendors liked was they were able to come early and it didn't cost them anything. Teddy didn't charge them any extra money to be there those extra days. So if there was people down there that wanted to get their regular bike worked on, if you want to go to Rick Rack or whoever, you could go ahead and get it done. So that was kind of nice that it's, there's some vendors that are already there. See, what's bad about a big rally like that is there's no riding there. You got the loop, and that's about it. You can ride them down the A1A, but you can't see nothing. The dunes are so high, you can't really see the beach.
The buildings.
You can go, you can go down along the coast and stuff. You can go down to St. Augustine's and look around and stuff. It's kind of neat going down there like that. But I mean, there's really not any real what we call riding to do. There's adventures you can go on your bike. You can go over to Orlando, go to Disneyland if you want to go to that. Or go up to Jacksonville and check that out. What's going on up there? Go down to, some people say that's one of the people made the comment when I talked about Daytona this year, that it was that in the middle of the week, there was nothing going on. They said a lot of people in the middle of the week like to go to the Keys during the middle of the week. I agree with that. Yes, there is people that do that, but I'm not going to agree that that's why it was that 50,000 people went down to the Keys for one day for 3 days. I don't buy that. I imagine there's probably a couple thousand might have went down there, but not, But it's getting to be where you look at these rallies and stuff now that we're just not. One, we're all getting older, and no matter what you say, and like somebody was on my channel yesterday and said, I'm 40 years old. I don't think I fall into the older class. No, if you're not 50 years old or older, you're not into the older class. Really, if you're not 55 or older, I don't know where that bug come from. That you're really not into the baby boomer age, to where those are the people and people that were before us that were the big motorcycle people, the 60s and the 70s. That was where, you had a lot of men that rode motorcycles and stuff, and you had a lot of clubs and stuff like that did a lot of stuff, a lot of movies and stuff on it. Easy Rider, all that kind of stuff was going on. People, had that privilege. Elvis had motorcycles. So, you had that big image of a motorcycle. And nowadays, when you have the kids that you have today, they have no interest in that. Well, we're even finding out that there's a lot of kids now that are 18, 19 years old, don't even drive a car. They don't want to drive a car.
That was even when our kids came out. When our kids drove when they turned 16. And when we came out here to California, a lot of the people that I worked with had kids the same age as mine, and none of them drove. I'm like, well, California's kind of weird to drive in to start with, yes. But I'm like, oh my gosh. So their kids are 19, 20, 21, and they're driving their kids all over. I know. Two of the happiest days of my life was one when the kids hold their own bottle, and two when they got their driver's license.
So, but yeah, so I look at all this and I say that this is a dying breed where, street bikes and stuff like that, it's just a matter of time. And, trike sales are up. Like Shelly Rossmeyer said, she's still selling a lot of bagger bikes. She's still selling a lot of big street bikes and stuff like that still. But their trike sales are coming up. And we do see that. We see a lot, much like in Sturgis. I see a lot more trikes than we did the first year that we went to Sturgis.
Daytona last year.
Yeah. And so you see that. And so you see, like somebody brought it up too, and she's seen this last night. that more and more people are getting hit on cars by motorcycles.
Cars
Are getting hit. Motorcycles are getting hit by cars in traffic. She just seen a motorcycle get hit yesterday.
No,
Didn't see it, but it was
this morning.
Yeah.
I went by. I had to drop some stuff off, and it wasn't there. And it had to happen right after I left because where I just went like a half a block down from where it was at, turned out, dropped all the stuff off, turned around, came back, and less than 5 minutes, and there was already a tow truck there. So it had to happen right after I went through. And a car hit a guy on a motorcycle.
I was going to look that statistics up and see what over the last few years, if there's more motorcycle wrecks today than there was 5 years ago or 10 years ago, or what is the increase of that? Because that would be interesting to see if there's a lot of people are more. I've never had an accident riding a bike. Girl hit me standing next to my bike. The girl plowed into my bike. She did. Somebody hit her in a car. So we know a lot of people that have had motorcycle wrecks. A lot of you have had motorcycle wrecks that we know. So so that's what this one gentleman was saying on the comment was a lot of people may be deciding, as we're getting older, is it worth to put it in my life on a line to ride a motorcycle for enjoyment? But there's a better chance that I might die on the motorcycle, get killed or get lamed up so it would be something to think about. And, that's why I think it was also might have been on one of the sites when they were talking about trailers, people pulling trailers and stuff. And but I don't know. But it makes me wonder. And I'll have a lot more to say when we hit the 85th in Sturgis. I think my opinion is I think that's going to be the big one. I think that will be our last big hurrah in Sturgis for motorcycle rallies. Yes, there'll still be motorcycle rallies. There'll still be events, but just like we talked about on the channel while we did a video today, there's a big increase of car traffic coming to motorcycle rallies. So you can see this in Sturgis because Sturgis there's nobody there. There's 7,000 people living in that little freaking town and 100,000 people show up during a rally. So it's easy to count how many people are on motorcycles. When we first went there, you hardly seen a car at all anywhere because there was no place to park a car. You had to park like freaking 5 blocks away with a car. Where any other rally, you can find a place. You go down Daytona, there's 2 blocks off of Main Street. There's a parking lot you can park your car in, and so it's easy to find a place to park. But so it was easy to see there that they're getting this big increase. We'll find out their big meeting, which we're not going to this year. It's the 24th, I think, is what they said of October. They'll be live and we'll do a wrap up of it after it's over. We'll talk about it on one of our videos next week and tell you about what they kind of said and what their numbers were, and not their numbers, but they talk about any announcements that they're going to do for next year. They talk about how much money they gave away. They talk about the increase of cars, that kind of stuff. And how do they get that information? Is they do surveys. I didn't see them so much this year. I seen them last year, but I didn't see them this year. Girls run around with some iPads. And
they weren't really downtown.
Well, we're down there a few times. And the girls will come up and say, hey, can I ask you some questions? Where are you from? How did you get here? Are you staying in a motel? Or, just general questions. There's a list of like 25 questions they ask. And one of them, when you ask, do you came in a car? They say, do you want a motorcycle? And if they say no, then they got that box. So then that kind of, so 2 years ago, it was 18%. Last year, it was 20%. So we're looking now this year, I bet you it's 25 to 30% more cars came to Sturgis this year. And I'm not counting somebody that pulled a trailer. We seen cars that did not pull a trailer. They were people that had they weren't staying in a campground. I don't know where these people came from, but they were driving around and we seen them up in downtown. I've never seen so many cars in Sturgis in all my years I've been going.
Well, the Dixon, when they opened, they must have had a huge draw because the day we went down to go inside the Dixon shop, the flannel shop, the people that were standing in front of me and in front of them, they were the first 2 people. I was the third person. And then a couple people behind me were all locals, but from Nebraska, from Montana, and they all drove in because they all had little kids and stuff to go to Dixon to get these one-of-a-kind shirts. So I think that was a big draw this year.
Could have been. And what they were packed. I've never seen, it was like going to a concert there. Every day they had a line around
lying down the building.
And they sold out about 8 of their items they sold out of. I think they did it at another rally too. And I seen you could still go online and buy some of those, but you couldn't buy any of the Sturgis ones. But next year he's going to come like in I think Memorial Day, and he's going to have the store open all summer long. So maybe it won't be quite as hectic there next year during Sturgis.
Because then the
if you wanna
people
get
that
some-
are local could come
Yeah,
from
yeah.
it. It doesn't have to be during
Well, that
the
you
rally.
can come if you get there a week early. You can get there early and pick up a shirt if you want to get something or buy something. You can pick
Yeah,
it up
because see,
early.
this year they were only opened.
Well, actually, 2 days after the rally started, they didn't open until
Yeah.
Saturday or something. They didn't even open on that Friday. I think it was Saturday or Sunday they opened. It was weird that the day they opened, but they had to get ready but it was great. And we might get a chance to go over and talk to them. We were hoping to go talk to Cobra Exhaust this year, but when we were over in California, they ended up they went down for Biketoberfest and they were down there for the Tricon. So he was leaving that day. If we would have got a hold of him first thing in the morning, we probably would have got a tour and to talk to Cobra and all that. So that'll be another adventure to get on Cobra.
Yep.
Maybe in December, we'll get over there and see what happens.
That's right. A thumbs up.
And so
Mike wanted to take a shot every time you got 5 thumbs up.
there you go.
You could play a game.
It's hard to keep up on the thumbs up because it's hard to keep refreshing it. You almost have to shut us off, come back, shut us off, come back to keep up with the thumbs up because they
Yeah,
don't.
because on mine it doesn't look like there's any thumbs up.
Yeah, they don't update it. You can't see it as well. So if you haven't heard, we're going to start doing 2 extra lives a month, or even a month we don't do any lives. We're going to be doing 2 lives that we are now going to charge for 2 lives to give you a lot of different types of information. If you watch The Professional Monkey, we kind of took this off of him. For $7.99, we're going to do 2 videos, 2 lives a month. We'll tell you ahead of time when they're coming up. And you can come on and we're going to talk about a lot of different stuff that I don't normally talk about here. Kind of what I've had a lot of people ask me about some of the problems that we've had doing our channel. Some of it is just some of the people we've had to deal with, not you guys. Some of the vendors we've had trouble with, the dealerships we've had trouble with, just different things like that. We actually had a couple years ago, I almost quit doing YouTube because of some lady, and we may throw her under the bus. And so it'd be interesting to tell you some of this stuff. Some guys will do videos like this and they'll talk about some of the bad comments they get and stuff. And I really don't want to do that. But I thought, maybe on a video like this where you're paying to see it, we'll talk about that kind of stuff. And if there's other things you want to talk about,
you can ask us questions.
Yeah, you can ask us more questions. Now, I may not answer every single question that you ask. You may ask us some personal questions we won't answer. But we may. And so it'd be a chance to be more of an open forum. And it'd just be a chance to maybe get to know us a little bit more than what you can see here. Because most of you have no idea about us. Most of my friends that actually know me and coworkers, when they really know our whole life, they're like, "Oh my gosh, the things you've done." And it's you only live once. And you might think what we do now is really wild and stuff, but we've never been swingers or nothing like that. So don't be thinking that's what we're going to talk about someday. But no, we've never been a swinger or nothing like that. But we've seen a lot of things, and we're not, I'm not shocked by stuff. It's I can tell you some stories, and that'll be on that channel too. And there's a lot of stories like that we'll talk about. Maybe there was once before I had a long story I was going to tell somebody, and I can't remember what was that about.
Barney 5.
Oh, Barney 5, going through Wyoming, our first time going to Sturgis. That's quite a thing. Maybe that'll be one of our first lives. That'd be a good, interesting story about Barney 5. You can join in on Barney, and maybe I can find some pictures on Barney. We met Barney 5, and he pulled us over, and it's quite an adventure. That'll be probably an hour or 2 long story.
The only person that's ever heard it is Ryder X.
Yeah. And he said before, yeah, you ought to talk about that on one of your shows. And it was quite an adventure. We had, it was, I'll have to get some pictures so I can flash them up when I'm talking so you can almost look like that. What was that horse that used to be a sheriff? It's a cartoon.
Festus?
No, it was a cartoon.
I know, but I thought there was a horse named Festus.
No, it was anybody old remembers that cartoon back in the 60s that he was a sheriff and he was a horse, and can't think what that was. Let me ask my phone.
I remember the song "The Old Gray Mare." Ain't what she used to be.
Man, that ain't what it is. What was the cartoon that had the horse that used to be a sheriff? There he is.
Oh, that was Deputy. No, that was
Quick Draw McGraw. That was kind of like that guy that pulled the over. But that Quick Draw was a little bit more intelligent than And Barney 5 was. Barney only had one bullet in his gun too. But yeah, that's a whole other story. That would be a good one we can talk on maybe on our first live.
Quint.
And talk about that story, and then you guys can ask
Reads.
questions about it. We can talk about that because those are videos we've never done because we didn't shoot any videos back then. We took pictures and stuff. You know, we went to probably, I don't know, 5 or 10 rallies before we ever got into YouTube. Talk about how we started, how we, you know, what made us go to Sturgis, what rallies did we used to go to, what did we do at the rallies that we went to, and, you know, things like that. That's that, you know, some people might think is kind of boring. But maybe stuff that if you want to, you know, people that probably want to spend the $7.99 probably want to know more stuff. And so we'll see how it goes. If we get people that want to do it, we'll try it for a couple months. If it don't, we'll get rid of it and we'll quit. But if you pay, we'll definitely, even if it's one person, we'll do it and see how it goes.
Be up close and personal, huh?
Yeah.
Quick draw McGraw and Deputy Dog.
Yep. And so, yeah, it's just exciting. So our echo is not too bad. Nobody's complaining about that. We got blankets on the wall. And somebody, California told me about that. And said it'd be cheaper than putting all the things up and you just got to move stuff around. So we try to move. We're on the opposite side of the wall today than where we were the last 2 videos we've done. And we got to do our second video on our my stickers. We got stickers, and then I haven't done my board. I got my board. Oh, my butt hurts.
Put his pins in. Yeah. And your poker chips.
Yeah. Poker, I showed them the poker chips the other day. I don't have as many as I thought I had. So I'm going to use this board and put all my pins on. I think I got a lot of pins, but I thought I had a lot of poker chips too. And after I got my poker chips, I was like, holy crap. I bought 2 frames and I don't even have that one half full. I guess I don't have as many. Well, some of them won't fit. There was some that I
Challenge
had.
Coins.
No, there's ones over there. Ones I got from Pappy Hoyle. They're oddball size.
Oh, are they? I saw
And they wouldn't fit in there.
I know where they are.
They got some cheap generic ones from Pappy Hoyle's.
Because we looked to see, they weren't that bad. Was it for 100 of them? It was $89 to get some Bob and Tam poker chips to give to you guys.
So something to think about. We don't know yet. And 'cause I don't know if we're going to change the stickers this year or not. I don't know. I like to do a different intro, but I don't know yet. I don't know. I like to get something different, but I mean, I don't know. A lot will depend on if we get going with our veteran bikes. We're trying to get a 501c. And if we get that, then you guys could actually donate money to help us build the bikes and stuff. And what we want to do with it is all the money.
It'll be a tax write-off.
It would be 100%. All the money would go to the charities. There would be no money that we take out for expenses or anything, because what the idea would be, I'd still make money on my YouTube. We'd be filming all this stuff and doing it. That's where I would get my income from. But doing the bikes would be the privilege of doing them and giving them to the vets. So we're giving them to the vets with PTSD, and we're working with the American Legion and the VFW. We've already contacted them, and they're willing to work with us and stuff. And so we've already got some great connections and stuff, and we've also got some places we get parts and stuff from. So it's pretty neat. We just got to get the bikes and get the lift in here and start working on them and stuff, and see how that all goes. So we may be going to the auctions and stuff and seeing. So this is stuff probably, I don't know if I'll do anything in January or not. I don't know yet. Still got to finish up. There's a few things here in the shop here we need to get. Emory HVAC's coming in
December
to help finish up the air conditioner. That he's going to help we get the big unit set up, get that all done. The split units aren't bad because they already got Freon in it. All you can do is pump them down, hold them. If they look good, you let them go and you're done. This one, you got to check all your leaks. You got to flare them and put all the valves in and all that stuff. And I've never done any of that. And so after I watch him, I'll be able to do it, but not now. Probably could do it. Watch a video, but it's always nicer to watch somebody do it and then go from there. Anything I haven't ever been able to do. If I see something to do, I'm one of these people that if you show me something, I can do it. And so I'm not looking to rebuild bikes or anything like that. We're not making choppers or anything like that. We're just kind of fixing up bikes. And if it works out good and we get some bikes, maybe if we end up getting a good supply of bikes somehow, maybe we'll fix some bikes up and do some stuff with them and then give them to vets later on. I don't know. We'll have to see how things go. We've talked to some of the dealers. Some of the dealers are interested in giving us some bikes, but I don't, you don't know what they're going to give you. If they're going to give you a pile of junk, or I don't know if I can get motors or not, but I can get pretty much parts to fix the motors. So I'm not a machine shop here or nothing like that. I'm pretty good with, You know, I can do the shocks and the springs and the wheels, the tires. I can probably change tires too.
Oh, Rick's down there. Rick's the one that got a
Yep.
clean bill of health to go, and he says,
Yep.
holy crap, Bob, tried to get into the bar at Mexi Phillies. Nowhere to park. Even out at the gas station was full. Parking of bikes. Bars downtown are full. Daytona's completely packed. Too many people driving.
There you go. It's Friday night. So I said almost everybody I seen talking today in the last couple of days and on Facebook and all the different groups and everything else, they all were saying they were leaving on Friday. And so that's what I figured. I figured tonight and tomorrow night is going to be the craziest time down in Daytona. So I'm not doubting that they're going to have a good crowd, but for 2 days, it's not much for us, for YouTubers.
So Rick's got a sticker. So how would that work with him
What?
to do that? If
Well, you
we
should
did
get
it
the new one.
No.
You don't have a new one on there. I don't know. You should have already got the new one because I put it in there.
I don't know.
Oh, unless it's maybe after this is over, it'll come back up because this isn't in YouTube yet.
No.
So he's probably on the old one. So once this goes out and comes back in, he'll probably have the new sticker. We got new stickers for the people that are our sticker
Depending
people.
on how long you've been
Yeah.
have had a sticker.
Well, you changed colors before, and now it's different things. I got one of them. I think the very first one's a bicycle.
Because
And
Clint was on
I had
there
a
too.
lot of trouble getting them to download. So they're not in the order that I wanted them to be in. I was kind of making them better and better and better bikes, and ended up some of the stupid pictures wouldn't download, and it was just a mess. So I finally got them down. And if we go onto the YouTube, because when we do the $7.99 deals that we do, those will be strictly only on YouTube in a private session. So those you'll be able to use your stickers on and all that kind of stuff like that. So that it'll work fine. But here we're actually going through StreamYard, which doesn't say on here because we paid for it. We go through StreamYard because this puts it on all my sites for me. So we've got this playing right now. It's on our YouTube channel. It's playing on our Bob and Tam's channel, and it's also playing on our Pating channel. So it's on all three. And I don't have to do anything. I just click it in here. And if we're talking about Sturgis, I just click the Sturgis one and it's automatically thrown in there. So it really makes it nice because it gives it more opportunity for more people to see it. So it's like if somebody said like, let's say Mixie Philly, if he says, hey, I want you to throw it up on my Facebook page. Well, he'd send me a link and I could put it in my thing. And anytime I wanted to, I could do that. Or Amazon Adam, or anybody that had a YouTube channel or a Facebook page. You could give me a link or Instagram or anything like that. I can put up to, I don't know, a dozen or so links that I can put that we go live when we do a live video.
So yeah, I don't know how we're not getting a lot of views, but we're getting a lot of new subscribers. So that's good.
Yes. I don't know what's going on. We've been really growing. We gained, which doesn't really drive me crazy. But when you look at Amsoil Adam, he's been sitting at like 13,500 for quite a while, almost since Sturgis. And it's like, dude,
Look how long it took him to get to 10,000 to give away that drone.
And it's like, you get a lot of views. But see, I don't know what we talked about earlier. I don't know how long they're watching his channel. If they're only clicking on for, he's got that girl thumbnail and he comes on and goes, good morning, YouTube. And they're like, well, we ain't left this guy. We thought it was going to be all girls. So they click right back out. That's why I always say it's not always good to, which I tell Adam that all the time. Do you really want your channel to be nothing but girls? That's what you think. That's the only reason they're coming because they're waiting to see your girls you're chasing. I don't want to be that channel. I don't mind putting girls on our channel when we have that opportunity, but I don't want to be a girl channel all the time. This is the only other girl that's on the channel. But I mean, I don't want and I know those would bring me more views, but most of the time you don't know what you don't. I know an average. You don't know, like if Mike, he's watching. If he decides he's watching every one of our videos all the way through, I don't know that. I only know the average of what people watch. So it's like here, when this video is over, I can look at it and see how many hours I got. Like I'll end up with, 30 or 40 hours of video time that it counted for watching this video. Now, I don't make any money on it. It just counts with YouTube that the more views you have, the more they recommend you. But like in Adam's case, that's what I was trying to say was he's getting all these great views. His videos have been doing better than mine lately. And I'm like, wow, man, I don't get why you're not getting any more subscribers. Now, the bad news could be that he's got the same people watching his videos. He's got a very loyal group of people that watch all of his videos. And that's very possible that they're waiting for him to, good morning, YouTube. And they want him to hear, well, what's Adam doing today? Let's hear what he's got. Let's hear about how good his business is today. We want to hear all that stuff. And that's why they're watching. And that could be us. I have more new people watching us every video than I do you regular people. I don't know. But I do see some of you will come back and catch up. It's like Karen today. She did that. I think she watched 4 or 5 videos today and wrote comments on them all. So if you're writing comments, I know when you watch. And Pawamoto watched a couple of videos today. He wrote some comments down. So when you write comments, I know that you watched the video. If you write a comment about the video, if you just say hi, I don't know if you watched it or not. Because we wonder about that sometimes. Some people come on and just say hi. And I'm like, does this person even watch our channel? Or they just come on and say hi every morning? And, I don't know. I'm glad they come on. I'm glad they're making a comment. But you don't know. But now, all of a sudden with us, we've gained, when I looked the other day, the last 30 days, I've gained 200 subscribers. And it's like, I don't know why. I don't know what we're doing that's making me gain subscribers. Well, apparently people are watching it and they're like, wow, we want to start watching this guy. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm okay with that. But then I look at poor Adam and I'm thinking, dude, why are you not growing? I don't get it. You get all these great views. People are watching your videos, but you're still sitting at 13,500 people. I don't get it. It doesn't make me any sense. But the only exception would be the rule is he's got the same people watching his videos and there's nobody new watching them. But I don't know. I can't see his channel. And sometimes it's just like with him and the girls. We just got over the Buffalo Chip and their channel's all screwed up because they can't make any money off of it because they blamed it on the girls. But then at the end, he ended up telling me they had too much copyrighted music. So what they were doing was they were filming over the years. They've had YouTube. They've been filming some of the concerts. Well, I didn't get the artist to sign off on it. Why would I want to film Kid Rock singing? What's that going to do for me? I mean, I'm not in the music industry. There's no reason for me. And it's like I told him, we film Kid Rock when we're there. We film him when he first comes out. He's doing his talking, and right before the song comes out, explosion comes out, and click, I cut the song, and that's it. There's no need to film the music. And
because even when we were there, some of the people that were helping like videotape and stuff, they're like, you can't film anybody. You can't film that. You can't film them singing. You can't film. And it's like, we know that, we
know copyright. But see, if you get copyrighted hits, we've been hit with copyright before. And normally it's somebody's background music that picked up. They were playing something.
Or a bike that drives by real slow.
And so, I'm very good at now where some of you will complain that, why do you put music over this when the bikes are riding by? Because there was music in the way, or we had a bad wind noise when we were riding our bike. Oh, can't you put a wind mic? This wind mic is not going to help on driving 60 miles an hour. No. Oh, I could put one in my helmet, but you're not going to hear the bike anymore if I put a microphone in my helmet. So what's the difference if you just listen to, I don't argue with those people.
Mike says girls get views, but not subscribers.
Yeah. And because they're only looking for cheap stuff. So
cheap thrill.
Yeah. So I don't mind putting the girls in when we have an opportunity to put them in, but I'm not going to spend my whole video on girls because that's on our channel. You can watch Prime Cut Pro, awesome documentary. Those guys are really they're the kind of the kings and queens of, not queens, but they're kings. of doing the videos of girls because that's what they started out. They used to do spring break stuff, and they got into from us doing Sturgis in 2020. They were following our channel, heard us talking about it. Nothing was going on in 2020 because of the virus and stuff. And so they came up to us in the Legends ride and said, hey, you guys are Bob and Tam, right? And we're like, yeah. They said, we're here because of you. And I'm like, okay. Well, I just thought they were subscribers. They said, oh, no, we're a YouTube channel. I'm like, oh, that's pretty neat. We're on Prime Cut Pro. And I'm like, oh, okay. And the guy goes, I'm also back there. I'm like, oh, okay. And I go look at him. Well, back then they were like 600,000 subscribers. And I'm like, holy crap, this guy is 600. That's the biggest subscriber I got watching my channel.
Well, he actually won, I think, a beer. We were supposed to buy him a beer. I think we eventually did.
Oh, yeah.
But
because he won one of the contests. Yeah. He won one of them. We were giving that stuff away. But I mean, they're great guys. We have a lot of people. We met this year. We met Her Two Wheels. She's a really nice girl. She's really friendly and stuff. She actually watches our channel too. I didn't know that because she never comments. And she says, I bought my DJI Osmo camera because Bob recommends it. And that's what he uses on his bike all the time. And I'm like, oh, what? I don't know why some YouTubers won't comment on your page. Adam Sandoval watches our channel too off and on because he'll come up and say something about one of our videos. And I'm like, how did you know? He says, I watch your stuff every now and then. And I'm like, okay. I mean, why don't you say something? I write something on theirs, you know, hey, Adam, how's it going? You know, it's great. Like when he first got back into doing his bikes again, I'm like, I'm really glad you got back into doing what you started out doing. You're doing the veteran ride and all that. I think that was great. But you did. His channel's grown quite a bit. He's gained about 25,000 subscribers. Did a great move. Go back to what started his channel. And
what they've always told us.
But now he's going back to a BMW bike again. So I don't know. What's bad about doing different bikes is it gets to where it hurts you because Harley is the biggest bike and more people are more interested in Harleys than anything else. And you can still have a Harley and talk about stuff like the Shade Tree guy, you know, he's got some Hondas and stuff, but I mean, he's got a very unique channel. We've never really met him. I seen him years ago, but I had no idea who he was. And my buddy Art knew him. He's like, oh, that's that guy. He's got a YouTube channel. I said, I've never seen that guy before. And I don't really watch his channel. His channel's not for me. I'm not entertained by him. We're not big motorcycle people for watching motorcycle channels. I normally click through motorcycle channels to see what they're talking about, what they're doing. A lot of these channels I don't even look at because they're talking stupid stuff. You know, they're bringing a girl in and, oh, look what she did now. I really don't care what she did now. You know, maybe you're hot for her and that's why you're watching the channel because he's bringing this girl back on. You know, whatever. If that's what it is, then good for you. But me, I'm not. You know, if he's got a story to talk about, maybe but I mean, even Amzel Adam, I clicked on him today because we did the video with him Wednesday. I just kind of wanted to hear what he had to say about how he's doing and stuff because we're not down there. So we're kind of bouncing around. When I'm Mexi Phillies, the last 2 days, I've kind of come on his channel when he did his live. And Eli, we're good friends with him. He's a pretty good guy too. He's got a different kind of channel. He's same thing. He's a vendor and he pretty much doesn't go out and do, you know, sometimes he'll walk around where he's at, but typically most time he's in his wife has had major surgery and she's doing good. And we're glad for that. And we probably won't get to see her again until next year in Daytona. Hopefully she'll be back and up to full par and everything will go great for her. And they'll be back to doing their old thing and having fun again. And but I mean, we've met some great YouTubers out here, and there's a lot of great ones out here. And they have all and then they all have different kinds of content and talk about different things and. It's like I talk about Art. I wish Art would retire because I'd like to do some rides with him. I'd like to go off. I just thought about that the other day. I'd like to pack up and go away for a couple weeks and just have no place to go and just go for a ride and do some videos on it and talk about it. And I just can't. She can't ride like that anymore. And like if we did the one on the coast, it would be tough for her to do that week up the coast. And so I don't know. And we'll see how it all goes. But I'd really like to do some riding videos. And we just can't with her. I can't. And I don't mind riding by myself. I just don't really want to ride 1,000 miles on myself. So I don't know. So that's something I would still like to do. And we're hoping Art would retire soon. He should retire by next year. I'm still riding. And then we'll do some riding. And I almost was tempted to call him this week and say, hey, the Pawn Stars, because he did a ride with us before with the Pawn Stars. Pawn Stars having a poker run. And he might have done that. If he was off tomorrow, he might have came up after work, drove all the way out here, and then we drove to Vegas tomorrow and did the Pawn Stars. But I got to pour concrete tomorrow. I forgot about that. So we're not doing the Pawn Star ride. And they're great. You meet them, and they all come out, and they all do the ride, and you can take pictures with them and stuff. And we posted some of those pictures that we did. And they're great people, and they got great food and stuff, and it's a fun ride, and they do the same ride every year. But all the money goes to charity. So good cause.
Nope. Larry's on. Larry Cassing.
There you go. That's my brother-in-law.
Yep.
And so yeah, we won't be back in Illinois for a while. Don't know when the next time we're going to Illinois.
You come out to Kansas and see us for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So I don't know. And then Christmas, we don't have nothing to do Christmas now because our daughter's not, the one in Kansas ain't coming out, and our other daughter's going to Mexico.
No, that's for
Thanksgiving.
Yes. So we can probably go out there for Christmas.
I really don't want to go to California for Christmas.
There's Jimmy Luff Jr. He's on. Go. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
A little late to the party. Big Whoopi's on.
There you go.
We met him out in Sturgis. I think we've seen him a few times now.
Yeah.
Hola, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, she needs to sit down and so we're going to plan a trip sometime next year to go to Hawaii. Never been there, don't know nothing about it, and we got to figure out where we want to stay. We bought a credit card, got 100,000 points with Hilton. We got 2 credit cards. We only had to pay like $5 on them, and you got 50,000 points for both of us for airline tickets. So
2 round trip tickets each.
yep. So we should be able to fly over there. We're going to stay. That's always been her dream to go to Hawaii. And I've been promising it to her for the last 20 or 30 years. And got to make it soon or we'll both probably be dead soon. I won't get to go. So that's on her bucket list. Most of my bucket stuff is I've pretty much done most of the stuff that I've wanted to do in life. Other than travel around the country. When we started this channel, that's what the whole idea was we were going to just do a travel channel and just travel around. And just more or less the channel was going to be just to show people where our relatives and friends, because we still have a lot of relatives and friends back in Illinois and Missouri, and let them know where we were at. And then when we got the Sturgis, our channel blew up. That's when we thought, well, holy heck, I guess motorcycles is our thing. But the part that kills me is when we don't have rallies going on and we don't have anybody watching our videos. So that's why I almost got to do something more with it. So that's why we're looking at maybe doing the veteran bikes. So we were trying to figure a way people could donate and get a tax write-off, and that's where you got to get a 501c. So we're slowly working on that, which of course that costs money too. So lack of that. Not as much of that as we'd like. We called Rod the other day, and I was hoping he might have just said, let me help you out and get you fixed, but he didn't do that. He said, it's not that hard to do in South Dakota. All right.
Nope. Jimmy Luff is in Arkansas. So what's the temperature there? It's 95 here. It got up to 102 today in Arizona. What is it now?
I couldn't see it on that one. Still says it's 95.
You got to click on it.
Oops. Let me turn to the regular weather, because sometimes that's not even right. I can't see. It's thinking. 91 and clear. Oops, can't see. 91 and clear.
It's by dark, getting dark soon, early.
Because it's what time did the sun go down? Let me see what it said. It said nope, don't even say what the time the sun's already gone down, I guess. Sunrise is at 6:49 tomorrow morning. We got 28% dew point and the humidity is at 11%. And we got a quarter moon going on tonight.
Starting to snow a little bit in Colorado, above 10K. Yep. It's 70 miles just north of Fort Smith. There you go. That's where Jimmy is.
So
It's almost 90 in the southern part of the state. Wow. It's in Arkansas. Got Arkansas and Colorado on
got
right
my
now.
Laconia shirt on for this year.
Yep.
Didn't
Don't
have to
have
go.
Rod on. Rodzilla. He's from Laconia or Massachusetts, and then look.
Did anybody go to that Smoky Mountain rally that they had the same time as Myrtle Beach? Just curious how that all turned out. We never got to talk to Fair and Exchange. They went there because they don't get along with the dealership in Panama City. That'd be a good video to talk. No, well,
Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach. That'd be a good video to talk about too. What happened with us in Myrtle Beach? The dealership there. That's another one that.
Another story.
Yeah.
Not for prime time YouTube.
Yeah. That would be a very interesting story too. See, some of these times like this is some of the dealerships we've dealt with. It's not the owners that we've had trouble with. It's the staff that they've had. And then sometimes we have a relationship with some of these dealerships. And like this one dealership, we were in there talking to them and we were kind of waiting for the marketing person, and the sales manager or marketing manager, whatever it was talking to me. And I'm like, and I, which we won't get into it. And another guy's like, what are you doing in here? You know, I'm like, well, F you, dude. And we won't be back. And it was a dealer we gave a lot of free publicity to. And one in Myrtle Beach was the same way. And interesting stories to tell you. And
Some more stuff of what we have to put up with.
yeah,
That's
A lot
going to
of
be
people
the, what is it called? $7.99 channel. It's not Patreon, is it?
no, it's the Sturgis. It's Sturgis. It's YouTube. It's in the join button. If you're on YouTube, you can click on the join button down there. With this going on, you got to go down a little farther to find it. It's in the join, and it's down there, and it tells you the same place where you buy your sticker at if you want to buy a sticker and support us. And I get like $45 a month. Thank all of you for that. And it all adds up, helps out, and help pay for that gas and pay some of the bills off that we still owe on, and we're still paying on some credit cards from last year's rally or this year's rallies. So that's why we're talking about this. Maybe this spring coming up may be the last year of doing the East Coast rallies. So we're going to sit down and talk to Teddy Morris, see what he's got to say. If he's willing to do something, I don't know if we'll ever do Myrtle Beach after next year. The idea is I don't know if we're going to drag the trailer around anymore, that far anymore. Just the gas is so expensive. $5, $6 a gallon for diesel is just insane. And
cheaper to fly.
Yeah. And plus the wear and tear on the truck and the equipment and all that stuff. And it's just, and so like when we went to Ocean City and went to Bikes, Blues and BBQ, we got sponsored there. Now we did have to pay for the airline, but we didn't break even on it, but it was quite a bit more enjoyable because we didn't have all that hassle of getting there. It's like when we go to Daytona next year, I got to start planning ahead, and we got to start looking at the weather, because we were in that ice storm there 2 years ago going across to Texas last year. I guess it was, not this year, 2022. When we drove across Texas, we were in that ice storm, and it was no fun. And so those are the things you have to deal with when we do what we do, cover rallies and stuff. And people want us to come. A lot of times they'll say that, oh, why don't you come to this rally? Why don't you come to that rally? A lot of people said this with Daytona. Somebody wrote and said, well, I don't know why you didn't come down here. You could have flew. It's $500 each for round trip ticket. That's $1,000. Plus, we got to find a place to stay. I'm not driving my car. Well, then you got to rent a car. So, and try to drive it around. Oh, you can rent a bike. Well, how much do you think it's going to, we haven't talked to anybody. Shelley Rossmeyer's not going to give me a bike. So Teddy, maybe. Well, I have to talk to him and see what he wants to do. But right now, I have no connections down in Daytona. Panama City's not going to give us a bike. Myrtle Beach isn't going to give us a bike. So I have no connections there with any friendly dealers for us. So we have in Sturgis. It could be if we did something in Sturgis, we probably could, but I don't mind doing Sturgis with the trailer, because like here, we're going to be there. Right now we're set up for Sturgis on June 23rd. We pull in. We could be there already by about June 10th, maybe pulling into Sturgis already. And they're like, what do you do all that time? Well, you wouldn't believe all the stuff that goes on. One, I would love to do 1 year of doing everything, doing all the rides, doing Devil's Tower, doing not Death Valley. What's that stupid town out there I don't like to go to? Badlands. Do that and do a little bit more information on it.
They say if you get out there and see the sunset and then the sunrise.
We don't almost set the trailer out there all night. But now that we've heard about that they're very limited now, and you've got to put a reservation in. They're only going to allow so many out there because it's getting so crowded out there on the Bureau of Land Management.
BLM land.
Yeah, it's getting so crowded. Somebody just put a video up the other day, and they're I think first of the year, which is closed now, I think in October. Most of the state campgrounds and stuff, federal property, all closes up during the winter time because they don't want you out there and get stuck, or they'll never find you. They won't find you until the snow goes away.
So Jimmy wants to know what you think about hard chapters. He said he's a member at Pig Trail and he never goes. And he says, what's your take on the hog chapters?
Well, our first hard chapter that we belonged to was excellent. But one, it was right in town. It wasn't, 3 or 4 miles from our house. But it was a dealership that opened a second store. It was a regular store. And what they did is, I just bought my Harley. And they had 2 rules: ride and have fun. We met so many great people, went on so many great rides. That's why, if you're on my personal Facebook page today, actually a ride 14 years ago, I went out with a guy in Art, and we rode up to Reno for the ride up there.
Street vibrations.
Yeah. And so that's how I got that. So yes, but then we belong to the hog group that we have out here, and we've gone on a couple rides, and they don't go anywhere. They go on like a 10-mile ride, and they go have lunch, and that's the end of the day. Well, that's not my kind of ride. So the problem now with hog groups is they are going downhill. Harley Davidson now has come out with a new app that they just came out with, which is actually a very excellent, great idea. What you do is you get on this app, and let's say I want to go a ride on Route 66. You can post it on here and find somebody that might want to ride Route 66 with me, or going to Vegas tomorrow. Put it in there and find somebody that wants to go on a ride with me. So, or if you're traveling someplace, hey, I'm going to Salt Lake City tomorrow, and I'm going to take my bike, and I'm going to stay overnight. hey, maybe I'll go on a ride Saturday with somebody. So you can go on this app and you type in, hey, I want to go for a ride. Anybody around Salt Lake City? Well, it's like it's kind of a great idea for what Harley Davidson's doing, because hog groups are dying. And that's the sad thing about it. See, they used to give you a 10% discount on parts, and almost all the dealers have quit that. And you say, why do they do that? The reason they did it is because a lot of people joined the hog group, and it only costs you $30 or $40 to join a hog group for the whole year. And then they go in and they just want the discount. So these dealers never showed up, never showed up in the meeting. So the hog groups have all decided they don't want to do that anymore. So, and then I kind of got discouraged with the hog group because they used to give you discounts like to Best Western. When we first traveled, our first trips to Sturgis, probably the first 3 or 4 times we went to Sturgis, we always stayed at Best Western because you got like, I don't know, 20 or 25% off.
And then I think every 4th hotel you stayed at, you got the 5th night for free.
Yeah. And they always parked your bike up front. You always had a place to clean your bike and all that stuff. It was excellent. I loved it. I keep asking them, well, see, now when you go talk to these people at Harley, these young kids, they don't know, why did they get rid of that? They did that. When did they do that? They know he's talking to you because you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, because this year was Hog's 40th year. So, you'd ask them all these questions. And they're like, when did they do that?
Apparently, I've been around.
David Eastwood said, come up there and he'll ride with you. He was in the middle of Utah.
And so it's me getting driving all the way to get there. And so
he'll meet you halfway. He just goes down to Vegas and St. George a lot.
And so that's my thought on the hog group. We're not really that involved anymore with the hog group. One, we're never around. They do some rides at my hog group that we have, but they don't do very many.
Well, we joined the Moose too because they had a riders club, a Moose riders club. We thought, there you go, right here in town. We'll go join.
We don't really know anybody. We thought it'd be a good way to meet people.
Same thing.
They ride down to the bar.
But they were crazy people.
They drink a lot.
They fought a lot. We went to was it the first meeting we went to?
Yeah. We finally quit going to the meetings. They were like going to kill each other.
I thought they were. People got up and left. People were throwing stuff. They were screaming and yelling.
Wasn't me. I was just sitting back.
It's crazy. Big Whoopi said he got invited to go to an Anchorage ride once. It took 8 days from where he lived. He said, yeah, not on a fat boy.
And
all right.
I don't know if I could ride a long distance anymore. Because it takes you a while to get on a bike and start riding again and be used to that ride. So it's hard to say if you could get out and do that ride. Now, I've never been a guy that did 1,000 miles a day. And some of these people, like somebody went to Daytona the other day, said they rode 20 hours. I couldn't do that. I have no interest in doing that. I'm not in that big a hurry to get anywhere. So when I ride, I ride comfortable. I'm not saying I'm not doing 80 or 90 miles an hour if I'm going through Wyoming or something, but I'm not looking to kill myself. I get tired our first year we went to Sturgis, I really screwed up because we had never gone on a long trip like that. We had gone with our hog group and stuff. Probably the longest ride we'd ever rode is from Southern California, rode all the way to the Grand Canyon in one day. And that was probably, I don't know, 400 miles or something, 500. I don't have no idea how many miles it was. That was a long time. It was a long day. And, but we got there. We left early in the morning, got there. It was still light when we got there. It was in the summertime. And, but we had no idea. So we knew we had friends that were in Vegas. So our first day was only 250 miles because we were going to stay with our friends in Vegas because it's free. And then the next day we were going to ride up to like St. George. Well, heck, that was only like 150 miles. And I was like, oh, okay. Then I had all these, I always book all my stuff ahead of time. And so everything's paid for and we pull up. And so sometimes we pull up and it's like, it's noon and we're already here. And it's like, okay, now what are you going to do? And then you go into town, you go in the hotel and go, is there anything around here to do? And they're like, nope. But once we park the bike, I don't really want to go riding around town. We're done for the day. We gas the bike up. It's ready to go. I want to get up at 7 and we're on the road again. I'm an early riser and we take off early. And so the longest we've ever rode in a day is about 650 miles. That's the longest. Both of us have rode a bike on our own in one day. Other than that, that's the most. And
so Rick said he got to drive a 23 CVO Street Glide today. And he said they were flying at 75 on the highway.
Yeah, and they're fast. That new CVO, it is quick. We still might get one to ride with through Harley Davidson. We just haven't got around to. I don't have time to do anything with them right now. So they said they would work with us and give me a bike. And it's a very good possibility next time, maybe even Sturgis, if we don't get around till Well, probably when we go to Daytona. I can probably call ahead and tell them that we probably could have one for the whole time we're in Daytona next year, and take it out once the truck shows up. I can get it off the truck and take out one of the new CVOs for the whole time we're in Daytona and drive around. But I mean, there's not. I really want. It's like the Indian bike. She didn't call back, so I'm assuming Indian didn't go for it. But we were trying to get an Indian to do the same thing, to give us demo bikes to take out for a week's trip. Because that, to me, you really got to take it someplace like Sturgis. You know, I'd love to take an Indian bike and do Iron Mountain and some of these rides with, because I really want to see how it handles in the turns. It feels really good, but on demo rides, you can't put a bike through a test. I don't care what you say, you can't. And every time we try to go out, even in Sturgis, when we try to go out to Spearfish and Deadwood, the bikes are always, the ones I wanted to ride were always booked. And they're like, sorry, they're gone. They're like a 2-hour wait if you want to wait. Well, no, I'm not waiting. Oh, I got plenty of these other ones you can ride. I don't want to ride on stupid other bikes. That's what I said. So I made a video on that. You know, if the CVO is the most, if it's the most popular bike you have and it's gone all the time, why would you not bring a dozen of them? And the stupid Street Glide you got sitting there, you got 12 of them and ain't nobody riding a stupid ass thing because everybody's already rode it. But I guess that's too much thinking.
I see my short today.
Yeah, I told you she should put that stupid thing on Facebook. Somebody did write a comment. Her pill bottles. I thought she put it on Facebook, and I look and I'm like, what'd you put it on her YouTube channel?
Well, I didn't know how to
Her
put
gripe.
it on. Yes, it was one of my pet peeves. Did Iron Mountain this year pretty gnarly, I'd have to say, but he made it.
It's good. I love Iron Mountain, and we're going to talk about my bike, and I haven't got around to doing that video either. And
compared to the one we got to use, the two we got to use,
and so we got to do that video too. I got a lot of videos to still do. Some of these we could do when we're in Kansas too, and I don't have to have the bike sitting there to talk about it. I can show pictures of it, and so.
Jimmy's got a 16. We've got a
14
CVO limited. Love it. I'm afraid to test drive a new one. I would be coming home with it.
Well, the only, like I say, I don't know about the new CVO yet, the brand new one that they have out, because it feels to me a lot like riding the Pan American. That's why I wanted to take one out for a couple of weeks. That way I could give a real justice call on it. To me, riding it on the demo rides in Milwaukee and stuff like that, I've taken them on them. I feel like it's a very uncomfortable ride. I don't think it'd be a bike that I want to do 500 or 600 miles on in a day. But I've never done that yet, so I can't say. I'm not going to badmouth the bike. It had a lot of great features on it. It was very fast. Now, a couple people, when they listened to the video, they said it sounded really good. I didn't notice that, but I wasn't really listening. The whole dash is all touchscreen. Very cool. It's all Android and iPhone, able to work with it and all that. That's really cool. They do now have a tour pack for it.
The windshield.
Yeah, they got different windshields for it, because that was one of my complaints was with the windshield. It was hitting me right here. And I'm like, I thought it'd be like the Pan American. You could adjust it. And then
go back to the beginning.
What?
They said any plans for the winter?
Yeah. I'm not going to go through all that again. And so go to the beginning, and it tells you within about the first 30 to 45 minutes, I tell you all of our plans and all the ways you can meet us and all the great stuff we're doing all the way through January.
So thanks, Fun on Wheels, but check it out because it's been 2 hours and
We're
time
just
to
about
go.
ready to sign off.
Yeah,
we don't like to go. We're not like the Monkey Man that stays on for 4 or 5 hours. We're not drinking tea. She's drinking Wawa, and so haven't been doing any riding. Been working in the shop mostly. I get up in the morning when it's cool yet and try to get some stuff done in here, get some work done, and getting closer on the bathroom. I'm trying to get the bathroom done is what we're trying to do now. And I got to turn the water pressure up a little bit more because it's not very high pressure. I got to make sure nothing's leaking. And then we got to finish putting up the rest of the drywall in there, put the ceiling on, and we're pretty much done in the bathroom. I got to run a drain for my water softener and for the pressure relief for the water heater. I put a tankless in. And I got to do that yet. And I got to hook the exhaust fan up. I got to vent that out the side of the building. And then tomorrow we're pouring concrete for the other splitting unit I bought. I bought another splitting unit. I was planning on using the big central air unit that's going to air condition the garage, but it's going to mainly sit at about 90 degrees. So it's not really going to cool the garage a lot. And to go in the bathroom at
Very,
90
very
degrees is a
sweaty.
little warm. So I thought, and we found out they're giving rebates. So we don't know what the rebate's going to be on this, but probably $100, $200 back, which would be nice. And then we're going to get a rebate on this. I don't know if we're going to get it on the air conditioner out there or not, but we'll get one on this. And so that'd be nice to have some money, pay off a couple of those bills that we got going on.
Maybe buy the lift.
Yeah. And so.
Because we got a lot of money for the lift. A couple people gave us money.
Yeah, I got money. I got that put away. And so lots of things still to do and kind of wrapping it up. And
Big Whoop said the shop is beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, I had somebody wrote on a video the other day when I did the walkthrough, and they're like, wow, I had no idea how good you were going to make it look inside. I'm like, well, no, I told you what we were doing. Still not, I don't know, I wouldn't call it beautiful, but I mean, it's a shop. I mean, it turned out fairly decent. We're not contractors. We're not professionals. We're doing the best we can. And some of our outlets, the cover doesn't cover all the hole up, and we got to fix that somewhere along the line.
Well, didn't they have bigger ones?
Yeah, I got some silver plates. And then we're going to paint the outside, and we kind of put that off now. We're going to paint all the rest of the drywall, and we haven't done that yet. And because I'm not going to do all the drywall, SEMA wall. I was just going to patch all the screw holes and just paint it like it is and just shoot it white and be done with it. I'm going to have banners and stuff on it anyway. But I just thought putting the paint on it would help protect it if it does get wet or something like that. And then we put diamond plating all around the floor, and I may put that all around.
That's Elvis.
Yes, Elvis.
And then Easy Rider.
Behind you.
That's Easy Rider.
And this behind me is the NASCAR. It's the track in Daytona when they used to race down on the beach with motorcycles. Back in 1955 is what it says on it. Got that at the museum
down here
where they tore it down.
A Polaris test drive setup on Main Street. Oh, brother.
What?
They have a Polaris test drive set up on busy Main Street down there too. That's craziness.
That's part of Indian. So
yeah, but it's
they're
not
taking them out of Main Street.
Well, the dealership. Well, I don't know if they built one or not.
The Indian dealer, the Indian display is on. No, the Indian display is always on Main Street.
Oh.
It's right there next to Dirty Harry's. So Indian and Polaris is the same company. So they never did demo rides there before out of there. So yeah, that is kind of stupid. If they're doing demo rides out of there and pulling out of there, I guess they're pulling out of the back, I guess. I don't know where they're pulling out of.
History right there. Very much.
And but I mean, it's because normally they do the Indian dealer rides at the dealership.
The demo rides.
Anybody see anything about the new Indian dealer building or the Indian dealer building their new shop? They're supposed to be building it out there at the out at the car place where all the car dealers are at.
Car mall, whatever they call it.
That's at the car mall. Up by Buc-ee's.
Not Carmel. Car
mall.
All right, you've been on over 2 hours.
Holy Jennifer Jupiter's Batman. What do you say?
I haven't tried one yet. I wanted to try one, but I was thinking when I saw how big it was, I was thinking it was like a Can-Am I was thinking. So yeah, Polaris is huge. It's like a car. Car sits low to the ground. I don't know. It's big. So haven't tried one yet either. All right. Anything else you want to say?
Guess not.
Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Hope you have a good Friday night. If you're down in Daytona, send us some pictures or put them on Facebook. Have a good time. Ride safe. Be careful. You too, Rick. He says he's going to go somewhere else. He's going up to Pigeon Forge before he goes home after he leaves Daytona. Clint says bye, everybody. And good chatting with you guys. Maybe we'll meet sometime at the Steel Horse Rally next year. All righty. That sounds good, Jimmy. Y'all take care and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video.
Comments came up.
Fun on Wheels says, keep up the good work, guys. Thanks. He likes the shop too. Catch you two later. Okay, Rick, be safe.
One more. He was still writing you.
Cheers, guys. Much love. Aloha. Ready? Bye.
Thumbs up.